What is going on, everybody? For those who don't know, I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, where I've been putting out a lot of Eagles content and not so much Sixers content, just a little bit down with the whole NBA going away a long time ago. I forgot exactly how long it's been. No, I'm just kidding. But what's going on, everybody? And go ahead, guys.
You can go first, RB.
What is going on, everybody? Appreciate being on here with my guy Philly Mike, and we're already going to get to him, but I go by RB, Philly Take with RB. I've also been posting a lot of content. We're out here grinding. We got a little roundtable coming tonight. We got us three and another person coming on in a little while, but I'm excited to be here. What is going on, everybody?
What's going on, everybody? 4 for 4 Philly fan back at it again with another stream with my guys, Philly Mike and Philly Take with RB. Glad I could be on the show with these guys. You know, talking Sixers, been posting every single day since hitting 500 subscribers. We're on the road to 1K, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to all three of our channels. And, you know, let's just talk Sixers.
Real quick, appreciate the super chat, my guy, at the end of the day. And I'm going to get these words out quickly. His name is TheBoy2138. Appreciate the super chat, my guy. Big $20. He said, finally, no more Eagles. Haha, let's go Sixers. This is the one dude who is a diehard Cowboys fan, but a diehard Sixers fan. I do not know how that happened. I do not know, but he subscribed to my channel of my Sixers videos. I've been gone for like the last 2.5 months, and he's just been like, yo, I can't listen to your Eagles no more. I'm going to have to catch you on the next one, the next Sixers one. So appreciate you for stopping by and the super chat.
Hey, man, Sixers and Cowboys. That's an interesting combo right there. Can't even hold.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we'll let RB take us off to where we want to start this conversation. So with the NBA season less than a month away, or right around a month, a little less than a month, we already in July now. What is your take on seeing the kick in coronavirus spike with some of these NBA players? The fact that Adam Silver came out of his mouth and said something along the lines of, hey, you know, there is a precaution that we might not be able to go through with it. Do you think there's a chance that we just don't get to see it?
Yeah, man. And first off, I want to say what's going on. Hey, actually, hold up. Shout out to my guy Joey Shakes up in here with the super chat. Appreciate it. My guy says I'm sending a late fee for not collabing with you guys. Hashtag Shake Squad. Hey, if you guys have not checked them out, go ahead and check out our boy Joey Shake 72. I talked to him a little bit earlier. Me and him are going to get on something soon. Maybe all of us actually on another Eagles roundtable. But appreciate my guy for tuning in. Shout out to him. And I also wanted to say what's up to Barm5, Tristan, Bashir Randall, and Derek Largers and Superhero. What's going on, fellas? Appreciate you guys being up in here. But to get to your question, Mike, it's almost like a business is taking the priority, but at the same time, it's like, can you really go on with this? I feel like personally, they're just trying to push this back. They're trying to push sports back into action too soon. I do think the season is going to happen, but if these guys come back, August 1st, you got a game, and then the next day you got 5 more cases of positive tests. You know, what do you do there? Do you just keep on going? Do you stop? Because I have a feeling if this starts, it's not going to stop, and it could get pretty ugly. But I like the plan that they have put in place, but at the same time, it's like these cases are starting up. It's like another wave. To me, I just think it's a dangerous thing. But if they do start, I do not think they will stop. How about you guys?
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing with me. I don't think they'll start, or I don't think they'll stop when they do start. I mean, the only way I can see them really stopping is if like a big name, and by that big name, I do mean LeBron James, gets it. That's the only way I see the NBA really stopping is if LeBron gets it, gives it to Anthony Davis gets it to everybody else on the team. Like, it's going to take a superstar to get it in order for the NBA to really consider even stopping. But even at that point, I don't think they stop. And I hope they don't, because let's just get this season over with and let's play on to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. I just can't see them going through all this and not trying at the maximum level. I mean, like 444 said, you would have to have someone like LeBron, Giannis, Harden come down with it. I think they'll do everything in their power to get it up and going. But how are we going to feel if we play a Milwaukee Bucks team and beat them because Giannis only played one game? You know what I mean, or something along them lines. That's really how an NBA championship is going to be tarnished. I really don't see an asterisk on any other way, because if all the stars play, maybe a role player here and there, like, you got to understand, everybody's going in the bubble, everybody's making a sacrifice, everybody's going to play with no fans, so it's not like somebody's getting special treatment. Yes, it's different. The lockout season when the Spurs won was different, but it's still the same. The only way I see a big asterisk is if somebody gets a free walk because one of the superstars are not there. But man, do we got to see some basketball, because last week I watched the race. I watched NASCAR for the first time, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't keep watching NASCAR and cornhole and UFC. It gets boring after a while. But to kind of bounce off that, I heard Giannis, I think it was earlier today in a press conference, saying that actually it's kind of the reverse. This is not only is it not going to have an asterisk next to it, but this is going to be one of the hardest championships to win, based on guys sitting out other guys who might get sick or get injured or anything. And just given the whole condition, the 2-month or 3-month break in the season, this could actually be the hardest championship. And we might look at this and value it. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. You got to think, these guys have been off for a very long time. Everybody's healthy again. The only players that aren't going to be there are the players that are not choosing to play, and that's their choice. We have no say on that. The team clearly has no say on it. But, again, like what Philly Mike said, it would take a superstar to have an asterisk next to the championship. But I don't know, man. I'm hyped for the season to be back already. I just need some Sixers basketball. Like you guys were saying, I can't watch these other sports. I don't even watch them. I just go along my day. But
yeah, to what RB said about Giannis saying that, I agree with him to the extent that, again, the mental grind of staying away from your family, getting away from the routine you do before game day, whether it be go here, go there because you're stuck in the bubble. I think the fact that getting yourself up, you're on a 10-0 run. What keeps you on that 10-0 run without the fans going off and all that extra stuff that the superstars really thrive off, and something that guys from the 76ers really downgrade because. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be a different level. And the only way I can say an asterisk is if one of the big guys ain't there, because I do believe you got to be on the top of your game. Anything and everything can get you out of your element when it comes to not being in your comfort zone, because even when we play, I mean, even you playing pickup, organized ball as a young boy, you still got some little crowd around you. It's a different atmosphere when you're playing for fun.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I know you kind of touched on that point there about the home and road. I think we all think similar that, it's going to be a different type of feel to the game. It's going to really affect some teams, and maybe even a team like the Sixers, who are 29-2 at the Wells Fargo Center. Now they go out, they're in a location, they can't really go anywhere else, no traveling, no home fans to get behind them. Do you guys think it's going to have more of an effect, more of a downturn where, like you just said, another team's on a 10-15 point run and we don't have that energy to get behind us? Is Brett going to call timeout or whatever? Or do you think it'll help? Maybe that we get in this location. We've heard guys might not be shooting as well when we come back originally. Maybe the Sixers can play to their size, What do you guys think?
I mean, you got to think with the Celtics game one. I mean, they were a very rusty group of players, never playing an organized NBA regular season game together. They just went out there, used their skill, used their length and their defense, and they went out and beat the Boston Celtics. Why can't we do that again with this team? Every team right now will be rusty for at least the first 8 games. That's why we have them. The first 8 games are a test. to see who's really contenders or pretenders. And if those 13 teams in the West, the other 5 and the one in the East, were they even like necessary to have, or should we just have gone right into the playoffs? It's really going to depend on a lot here. And, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it's so up in the air. It's so unknown. Normally in basketball, you do not have an underdog win because it's a 7-game series. In a 1-game series, anything can happen. That's why it's called Any Given Sunday. But in a 7-game series, the better team always prevails. But this unknown atmosphere could change that up a little bit. But let's get to some of these comments. So Murph DeKenzo said, RB with a fresh cut. Okay, player.
You already know, man. Had the big birthday. Had to call my barber, man, and the backup barber, actually,
Yeah. So real quick, he said, Philly Mike, love that green screen you got going on in the videos now. For those who haven't caught my Sixers video, I tried to get the same locker room background, but I was running late. RB and 4-4 were on time, so I just like, you know what? Let me just rock with the green screen. I'm not going to put the background up for this one. But Lucas says, should we trade for Chris Paul? What is y'all take on that?
For me, for an original thought, I would just say no, not because of Chris Paul, the player. I do think Ben Simmons maybe would benefit from being aligned besides Chris Paul. But when you look at that contract, first off, OKC is having an enormous season coming out of nowhere, and he's a big part of it. But when you look at the contract situation, we know why Houston got rid of him, not just because of the relationship with James Harden, but they're paying him $35-40 million a year. And given his age and everything, we know he's not worth that. We know he's being overpaid. I don't see it happening, and I don't want any parts of that contract because we know best. We've given some big contracts to older guys, and we see how it's played out so far. So I would say no.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I mean, I'm not trading for a 35-year-old Chris Paul. Yes, he's still playing at a very high level of play with the Thunder, but it's really like, look at the team around him. I don't think he would fit around the Sixers as he does with the Thunder. And he didn't work well with Harden for that exact reason. They were both ball handlers. They brought up the ball. So what's going to happen with Ben Simmons? He can't shoot regardless. So what's going to happen with him? Is he going to have to play in the post? Well, then what happens with Horford? Is he going to have to step out for 3? He does that already. He sucks at it. I mean, why would we do the same thing but now take the ball out of Ben's hands?
Yeah.
True. Superhero 18 said, remember the Bynum press conference, how people could like publicly attend? That was super cool. Well, one of the dudes had yelled, I love you, Bynum. That was actually me. That's what's up.
Hey, superhero curse us, man, because Bynum never stepped on the court.
Correct. This is for you, RB.
What's up, RB? We hooping at Aaron's house soon. Oh, you already know. We were just talking about it off camera. I got that shot, man. They call me a stretch big for a reason. They call me they call me Dirt.
Call me Dirk, he said. He said Ben is getting that work in with the Flash and LBJ to get his jumper right.
Look, guys, do we really let me ask you guys realistically, do you think Ben Simmons is going to come back out here with a jump shot?
Nah, not this year.
No.
I don't either.
Not even.
I mean, if it hasn't happened already with all the calling out that Joel Embiid did and all that, I mean, it's just gonna be. It's one of them kids that are stubborn and just won't walk until one day you just gave up on him, and next you know he finally does it when you least expect it. So, you never really give up on the kids, but you stop and anticipating that he'll do it. I mean, but. Hey, just like we said about walking, we can't get right to walking. He got to crawl first. Let him shoot a jump shot. You know what I mean? Then he'll get to the 3.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. He has a jump shot. I've been saying this. I know 4 for 4 is a season ticket holder. I've been to some games. He shoots every game. Before the game, he shoots, nails them from the corner. I don't understand.
Nah, it literally doesn't. I've seen him make 11 consecutive threes from the corner, literally 20 feet in front of me. And that same game, all right, he did hit the corner 3 from the net against the Knicks, but it was one time against a terrible team, 30-plus point win. I mean, they suck. It's the Knicks. He's only shot three threes technically and made them. One was a preseason game against a team that we beat by 50. One was the Knicks, who are basically the same team that we beat by 50. They suck. And the Cavs also are not good. So we've got to incorporate – like Ben Simmons has to incorporate this against the Celtics and the Pacers and the Rockets and the Bucks and the Lakers. He just doesn't do it.
Yep. What's going on, Ricky?
Yeah, to touch on Vic 3's point and what Superhero 18 said, Simmons is a 4-man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff, when people talk about playing Simmons at the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and stuff like that, no. I mean, the dude is a ball handler. Don't get me wrong. But he's what you call a .4. He's a legit .4, meaning when you're in transition, let him do as much as possible with the ball. But when you're down to the half-court set, let him be his 4. Let him be in the paint. Let him move around. Let him set screens. Let him move yes, he can make passes on the go. And if he has shooters, the ball could be in his hand more. But what is the Ben Simmons offense? I mean, he gets the ball and he hands it off to either Shake or Jay Richardson. It's like the same handoff. And so the dude is when he's aggressive off the ball in a half-court set, they win games. And again, in transition, I mean, there's nobody better not only on the Sixers, but pretty much in the NBA with his combination of speed, his abilities to to pass the ball, and to just get to the rim. But, I mean, that's why people like, especially DJ Eastwood would always say this. For people who don't know him, Sixers content creator, good dude. He just been as down and out like I was about the Sixers. But when you have back in the day, Raw Neto, even though we don't like him, and Trey Burke, and you have these point guards on the court with Ben, for whatever reason, I mean, Ben plays better. Again, you don't really want the ball in Raw Neto's hands, but just him moving off the ball, he is more aggressive. But you can't have 3 6'10" dudes in the paint.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, it's at the end of the day, we are transitioning pretty much now, I mean, to positionless basketball as we have been. Honestly, I think the next step, I've been saying it for weeks. Ben has to shoot. He shoots a lot of problems with this team that especially connect with each other, quickly start to get better, and this team gets better as a whole. I mean, I understand he's 23. He's gotten better, on defense, all the things he can do on the court. But at the end of the day, Ben Simmons shoots the ball. You can do so much more as an offense.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys bringing me in, even though I'm a few minutes late. Just got back from the park, getting some basketball in myself. I mean, it's gotten so bad these days. You got to play ball yourself. I'm craving some Sixers though, so it's about that time.
You trying out for the Sixers?
Shoot, at this point, if Raul Neto's on the team.
Yeah, and like I said, by no means do I say Raw Neto is good. What I'm saying is when Ben's allowed to move around for whoever's facilitating, preferably Trey Burke when he was on the squad, even though he was what you call DMP Burke, just didn't get to play. And even now, like guys like Shake Milton, Alex Burke, these guys ain't number ones truly, but you just got to get Ben off the ball in the half court.
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question, but we'll wait a little bit because I see a lot of comments coming in here.
Yeah, let's get to some of these comments. There isn't more dangerous rollers in the league than Ben Simmons. I agree. This is a good one from the one and only Barn 5. He said, what do you think the starting lineup will be? Go ahead, guys. Give us a quick rundown of who you got.
I'll go first. I'm kind of different than a lot of what I've been hearing. A lot of people have been pointing to guys like Shake Milton for youth. Me personally, I think it's going to end up being Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Glenn Robinson III to add that versatile defense and hopefully some shots from the corner. Tobias Harris at the 4 and Joel at the 5. That's what I want it to be. Now, what I think it will be is a completely different story, but that's just what I want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Shake guy. I'm going to put Shake in as my 2, move Richardson to the 3, but basically you can pretty much play positionless basketball and just have Embiid at the 5. I mean, Embiid's not moving anywhere from the 5. He's just too big. I mean, he's literally the center. But I'm rolling with Shake. I think he is as bad as as bad as this is to say. I really do think he's our best shooter, and that's not good. Let me get that out of the way. He's a good shooter, but he's not the best, and there's no reason for him to be the best shooter on our team. But I'm still giving it to Shake as my 2.
Yeah, I agree with that lineup. I would definitely bring in Shake in the starting lineup, moving Horford to the bench. And you had said something about like positionless basketball. It's sad that we have to say that because really the Sixers of this starting lineup they've had this whole season, it's just not your traditional starting lineup. Al Horford's really a 5 if you think about it. Tobias Harris, you saw his best numbers on the Clippers when he was playing the power forward spot. So I like the idea of bringing in Shake, putting him at the 2, and then you're moving Tobias at the 4, which that's his natural position. And the whole reason we brought in Al Horford was to be Embiid insurance anyway. I mean, I know we're paying him a lot of money and stuff like that, but they can share the court together. But I would like to see them do that probably like at the end of games, crunch time. It's going to be impossible to score on that lineup, but maybe not start them. So I agree with your lineup. I'd roll with that one as well.
Yeah, the main thing is getting Horford out of the starting lineup so you have space for not only Joel Embiid to work down there, but for Ben Simmons to do his damage, because even when Ben Simmons is aggressive, how does he get his buckets? He gets his buckets 3 to 5 feet away, 3 feet, 2 feet, 1 feet away from the basket. And if you're asking Horford to step out at the three-point line, well, I mean, there's going to be some days that he hits them. I mean, he's going to happen, but it's going to be more misses than makes. And so you're just really not getting the most out of that team when you have Horford having to step out there or Joel Embiid having to come out there so Ben could be aggressive. So I would like to get a guy like Shake or Glenn into the lineup, because then you got to think you get Horford, you get a guy like either Glenn or Shake, the one who's not in the lineup, plus Matisse. You still got a solid rotation with Horford being the veteran and the leader on the floor for the second unit. But I do want to say this to Steven about Tobias Harris playing the 4. Yeah, he might have lined up in the floor because the Clippers have always been like a small ball team, and their center is really like a 4 playing 5 and stuff. And he might have played the 4 on defensive purposes and stuff like that. But still, Tobias always got his buckets wherever he was, when he was with the Clippers, the Pistons, just mid-range and moving around and stuff. So he doesn't like traditionally score as a 4. He still scores like a 3. I just think everybody's out of their element because of spacing. Again, Clippers had decent spacing, so you can let a guy like Harris go to work where he can shoot the 3. He can go off the pick. He will go backdoor. He has a little bit of everything to his game. He's a guy that when you're struggling, you can give him the ball and let him create something. But everywhere he went, he had more space than what the Sixers present with 6'10 Horford, 6'10 Embiid. Simmons, 7-foot Embiid, and then a pretty big Harris. You really got 4 guys who are 6'8 plus.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Only reason I would say not to start Shake right away, and I do think it will depend on the game, the series, the opponent, but just given the youth factor, I think you could see a lot of different looks at a guy like Shake Milton, and given his inexperience, he might not be able to handle that at first, but Shake's definitely going to need to shoot the ball. Matisse Thybulle is going to need to shoot the ball, Korkmaz, but the problem is we just don't have that consistent shooter. We don't have that guy who we know is going to come out and hit 3 to 4 threes a night. We knew we had JJ Redick for that. Right now, I just don't know. I mean, we signed this other guy, Ryan Brokoff. I just don't know who's going to be knocking down shots every night. I would hope it's Shake Milton. I would hope.
Yeah. I have no idea what Brokoff. Like, I literally am still confused why we wouldn't sign a guy like I know J.R. Smith was probably never going to come here, but a guy like his nature, why would we sign somebody that – and I'm not like just your average NBA fan, and I'm sure none of us are. I've never heard of this dude. Why are we signing people that I've never heard of? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't – I would rather take a shot on 40-something-year-old Jamal Crawford than Ryan Brokoff because Brokoff can't create his own shots. He's a spot-up shooter. If you get Jay crossover, at least he can create his own shots. At least he could pull up. He could do everything better than Brokoff, I guess, except sit there and shoot from the corner.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't see a way that Brokoff, unless he comes in and hits 3 threes right away, is playing more than 10 minutes in a playoff game. But I can never count it out with Brett Brown. I can't. I really can't. I could see this guy coming in playing 20 minutes one night.
If he does, it better be in the first 8 games, because if we're playing this man 20 minutes a night during the playoffs and giving Matisse 10, there's a serious issue with Brett Brown. Like, it's just, why would he do that? If he really doesn't like youth that much, then why is he still here? We've drafted the youth around him to put in the lineups so we can contend for a championship. And we have a fairly young lineup outside of Al Horford. There's not a single guy over 26 years old. And this man just disregards everybody under the age of 23 outside of Ben Simmons during the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm telling, like, you guys would agree, right? That Brett Brown kind of shifts away from youth when the crunch time comes. I mean, I'm scared. What if he doesn't play Matisse Thybulle 20 minutes a night? What if he doesn't play Shake Milton enough minutes at first? I'm actually very scared that that's going to happen and Al Horford is going to be in the starting lineup. It sucks to say it, but I have a feeling.
I mean, you have every reason to feel that way. That's been his calling card ever since he's been here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Raul Neto in the playoffs over like a Shake who, I mean, Shake really did prove himself, but unfortunately every time he seems to catch a little streak, like even early in the season, he kind of had a nice little run, not to like the degree of the one he just had, but I think he had got hurt or something, and that kind of took him out of the lineup for a bit. It seems like the only way he plays a young guy consistently is if they really prove it rather than just kind of giving them a shot. And what you had just said about Matisse Thybulle, that really scares me because I think Matisse could be really useful this postseason, you know? And I don't know, man. Like, it also concerns me with – I know it's been up and down since we got Alec Burks, but I personally think he should be in the lineup big time this postseason. Not the starting lineup, but coming off the bench.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be crazy. But let me ask you guys on here, and let me ask the chat too. So I'm going to ask these three of this question, and I want the chat to drop who they would like to see in the first round. If you had to pick between playing the Heat or the Celtics in the first round, and I'm not saying, you know, you pick one, that don't mean you think we can't beat the other, but who do you think we match up better against, the Celtics or the Heat in a 7-game series? So go ahead, chat. Let me know in the chat. Everybody throw out their pick. Heat, Celtics, and go ahead. We'll start with you, Steven.
Honestly, I mean, look, I think we can beat either team, and honestly, it's hard to say who we match up better against. I can't really think honestly about that. I think we can beat both, but personally, I'd prefer to play the Boston Celtics. I want to end their season, man. We didn't get the opportunity to last year. Let's freaking do it this year, man. We got Al Horford. Let's end the Celtics season, man, if I had the choice.
I agree with Steven that we do match up well against both. I'm actually going to go with the Miami Heat, and there are multiple reasons for this. Even though I think Joel Embiid's best matchup would be with the Celtics, there are a couple things. For one, Brad Stevens scares the heck out of me, all right? The dude probably has a notebook filled with notes based on Al Horford, if Al Horford's even going to produce. Second off, we know Ben Simmons is going to be neutralized for the series. I mean, Brad Stevens could outcoach Brett with his eyes closed. That's number two. And number three, I think Miami has a lot of young guys who have shown that they've caught fire this year. But like I said, will they be able to shoot effectively given these conditions? And then with their inexperience, are they going to come back shooting the lights out of the ball? I don't think so. I would love to end Jimmy Butler's season in the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo's had a good year, but I think he's baby food for a guy like Joel Embiid. And I just think we match up better against their younger guys. Even though I like both matchups, I'll go with Miami.
Yeah, look, we can beat any team in the league. I just think we're that good. I just don't think we've shown it. But I'm going to go with Boston. I made a video on this yesterday, and I chose the Celtics. And it's literally because of one reason, and it's the X factor of every playoff series, especially in the East. The only man in the Eastern Conference better than Joel Embiid is Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's not a single person in my mind that I think is better than Embiid. And for that reason alone, if Brett Brown isn't lying to us and saying that Joel is practicing, is training hard 6 days a week, or however long he's saying it, I don't really know. It's hard to listen to him sometimes. But Daniel Tice and Enes Kanter are no match for Embiid. Bam is an all-star. He's a little undersized for a center, but just the factor of Daniel Tice in that starting five, it basically just wipes out the rest of the matchups, and it's give the ball to Embiid at least 20 times in the post and shoot mid-ranges, dunk, layup, post hooks. I don't care. Give the ball to Embiid when he's on the block against Daniel Tice. That's why I'm picking the Celtics, because of the X factor of Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I gotta go with Celtics. I just think I don't like them just in general. And I think we match up better with them. I know you got guys like Tatum and Brown who are pretty deadly, same with Hayward. And again, nothing really scares me because again, if we're home, we can beat anybody. And so I don't know where it's gonna be like out there in Orlando, no crowd, we'll have to see. But hey, as you said about Adebayo being, hey, I still think Joel Embiid can dominate any matchup. But Adebayo is about to be the Pascal Siakam, not in that exact position, but I'm saying watch next year. Adebayo is going to be making some all-star games. Listen, he's low-key, really, he's low-key a problem. And they just got more bodies down there. And I do believe we're going to have to rely on Joel Embiid. He's going to be the one. He's going to be the X factor to get us past there, past any round. I mean, when we go against the Bucks, it's going to be Embiid versus Giannis. When we go against the Celtics, again, that's just a matchup that Kanter and Tice can't control. And it's going to be able to get, guys like Tobias and I believe Ben Simmons in their element, not really needing to do as much when Joel Embiid's just averaging 30 a game. But my brother's a Heat fan, and, they gave it to us kind of throughout the season. We did beat them once, so I think they beat us, twice or three times? We played them all 4 times?
3.
Yeah, we lost times.
Yeah. But I think we can get them both, but I like the Celtics.
Yeah. Like I said, I agree with all your guys' points. I just noticed when the Sixers play the Celtics, the way Brad Stevens comes at Joel Embiid, if you notice, every time he turns his back, he sends a double team his way. And I'm just scared with how the game gets slowed down in the half court. I mean, I've seen it, a couple years back in a playoff series, the way Brad Stevens was able to take Ben Simmons out of the game. I just don't, I don't know why. It scares me. And in terms of the Miami Heat, I do agree. Bam is an uprising player. I mean, he's playing very well this season, but they just have a lot of young guys, which is kind of why I would lean towards that way. I mean, if you put Bam on Joel Embiid, Embiid has the advantage. You might put Jimmy Butler on Ben Simmons, but then who's going to guard a guy like Tobias Harris, I mean, Duncan Robinson? I mean.
Yeah, I do get that. I mean, Ben Simmons is another. I mean, obviously, Ben and Joel are the 2 X factors of the teams. Look at Tatum's numbers against Ben. Look at everybody's numbers against Ben. He holds these superstars like LeBron, like Tatum, like all these guys to under their average, to a terrible percentage. It's just great. I love Ben Simmons, man. If he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year one time in his career, there's a serious issue.
It's a travesty, man.
Yeah, definitely. Philly Boy 215 said Hayward and Brown are inconsistent. Same with Smart. Their only threat is Tatum, and Kemba struggled against us this year. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, it doesn't really depends what Sixers you get, because you get the wrong Sixers, you got the teams like the Hawks, the Magic, the Cavs, the Warriors, Eric Pascal dropping 30 on us almost. You got all that on us. So it depends on what Sixers team you get, what Brett Brown coach you get. Is he playing the right lineup? Does he have Horford and Embiid in longer than he should? But listen, it's a superstar league, and we're going to need guys like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid to really step up. But guys like Harris and Jay Rich and a guy like Shake, who started really coming on at the end, really coming on. Can he be that X factor, that guy that just gives us energy without the energy in the stands? You know what I mean? Could he be that dude?
Yeah. To me, I really think it comes down to who's your shooters. You know, last year we knew we had a sharpshooter in JJ Redick, even who could come off the ball a little bit around the dribble handoffs and knock one down. Now we don't have that. I'm telling you, I really think for us to win a series, we're going to have to win at least 2 or 3 of the games by holding the opposing team under 100 points, maybe under 95 points. That's really the realistic kind of frame I'm looking at, honestly. I mean, I don't think we're going to win games, making 15 threes a game. I don't think so.
That's a good point you had mentioned earlier. I think you had said something about Brad Stevens scheming around like Joel being dominant in the post, because we can all agree Joel's matchup against Boston now is, I mean, Horford's not there. They don't have an answer for him whatsoever, but the playoffs are different. And honestly, Brad Stevens may not be the only coach to try this, but what happens when Joel Embiid gets double teamed in the post? The obvious answer is he's got to kick it out to the open shooter, but do we have any reliable guys? I mean, Tobias, 36% from 3, you can trust him. I mean, but besides him, I really don't know. Josh Richardson's been up and down. Furkan Korkmaz, I mean, he's a young player. The playoffs may be a big stage for him. The same can be said about Shake Milton. So I really don't know, man. And Horford hasn't really been spacing the court either. So I just hope we have an answer for when Joel gets double teamed.
Hold up. Let me ask you guys this question. So Harrison Grimm says, is there anyone here that doesn't think Kawhi is the best player in the NBA? Who do you guys got right now as your best player in the NBA?
Fully healthy?
Yeah, just like the best player in the NBA on a 1-year sample size. Who you taking? I mean, because right now, going forward, you're not going to build your team with year 17 LBJ. But what LBJ was doing in year 20 was fantastic. But if you're talking about building your franchise and on a 1 year, that's different. You can't build your franchise with a 17-year deep LBJ. But right now, who you got as the best player in the NBA?
I'll defer to these guys first. I got to think about this for a second.
Well, so I'm confused by the question. Are you saying who would I build my team around, or who would I take this season just to win it out? Who's the best?
Right now, as what we saw in 2019 into 20, well, what we saw this previous year, who would you give MVP to, or who do you think the best player in the league is for this last year?
I think it's King James still. I think he's just on a whole nother level. He had this whole off season to heal up, and he led this Lakers team to the 2 seed in the West? 1 or 2 seed in the West?
Number one. Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a LeBron fan by any means. Don't get me wrong. Like, MJ's the GOAT. That's my opinion. But I don't know. And I will not say Giannis. No. Like, I'm just not saying him because it's Giannis. I'm going to go LeBron regardless. I don't really think anybody's at LeBron's level winning-wise. He's going to win a championship with the Lakers. As painful as that is for me to say, I think it's going to happen. It's got to be this year if it does. AD and LeBron, I mean, I don't know. They're better than Paul George and Kawhi. So I'm still going LeBron.
Yeah. I'll go LeBron too. Because you said this last season, if everyone was fully healthy, I might have to change my mind to Kevin Durant just because I think KD is just a prolific guy who can give you 40 on any given night. Obviously, it's hard to distinguish that because of where he has been in his situations. I want to see what he does next year with Brooklyn, but right now I would say LeBron too.
Who's your guys' top 5? right now.
Well, wait. We gotta let Philly Mike answer this question. I
Yeah,
want to
so
see.
honestly, I'm gonna go LBJ. You know what I mean? Just because I'm gonna take it into consideration what I believe he could do in the playoffs. That playoff LeBron is a different animal. But right now, if I have to give out the MVP to somebody right now, even though I think LeBron is gonna be the best, including the playoffs, I gotta give it to Giannis straight up. The dude's a monster. If we're talking MVP, but who I think, all in all, I take LBJ. But again, listen, for a lot of people who are trying to put Kawhi Leonard over LeBron, if the Clippers beat the Lakers, it's gonna be hard not to. Not saying career-wise, we're not talking about now does Kawhi have a better career than him and stuff like that, but we're gonna have to say that Kawhi is taking that King James title. It's just be what it is.
To be the best, you gotta beat the best, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't care how good any player in the NBA is. Nobody is doing what LeBron did to the Warriors back in 2016. He came back down 3-1 against the greatest team of all time and beat them. 3-1 in the finals. I mean, nobody else is doing that. It's just not possible.
Real quick, let's see. I think the chat chimed in on this too. So we got Jared Reed with LeBron. We got Vic 3 with LeBron, Curry, Harden before. Oh, he picked all three of them before Kawhi. But I think he's saying pick them before Kawhi. But Murph DeKenzo said LeBron. Du Bois said Giannis. Philly Boy said best player is Durant or Kawhi. So he's on that Kawhi thing, and he's also Durant. And I gotta side with RB. Listen, you really, man, it's hard to put KD because what he did. Like listen, just going to the Warriors was something already, but to go to the Warriors after they beat you, after they came back 3-1 on you, like you got them down. You're about to take them out, and you let them come back 3-1. Then you join them, and yes, you get the two best shooters next to the best overall scorer, and yeah, you can fight Harden and Durant with that, but Durant just how you block the 7-foot release, it's just cash. So, but I gotta see him do it. Like if he would have won with OKC or he would be playing with the Nets, it would put him up there. But it's hard.
Yeah.
Here's my take on Durant. Durant is my guy. Outside of Philadelphia, Kevin Durant is my favorite player of all time in any sport. That's just how it is. It's always been that way. He got me into basketball. Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer of all time. This man is unstoppable. Mid-range, 40-foot jump shots, twice in the finals against LeBron. Layups, dunk packages, crossovers. Who's another 7-footer that can do what Durant has done since Seattle? Like Giannis came into the league without a jump shot. LeBron came into the league without a jump shot. Kawhi came into the league with no offense whatsoever. He was just a defensive player. Kevin Durant came in the NBA with a 3-point shot, a mid-range, crossover, layup, dunks, and he's worked that into becoming the greatest scorer of all time, in my opinion. Now, I know you could say Wilt and Kareem and even LeBron and Harden. Nobody on a one-on-one is stopping Kevin Durant. It's just nobody. Not Giannis, not LeBron, not Kawhi. It's too hard. He's the best scorer of all time.
Real quick, so a lot of people said if KD was in the picture, he'd be up there, and I agree. I don't know if I'll go that far, just because I got to see him do it a little bit more. But yeah, you talk about a guy who can score off the dribble, get to the lane. He can overshoot anybody because you're not blocking it. He just got to be off. But again, I just would like to see him do it, not by himself, but just not with them, not with that 73-9 team, you know? I think it was Max the Sixer said it up there. He said it, or was it Max? No, Philly Boy 215. He said, what about Durant? He outplayed LeBron in 17 and 18. True, but it's a lot easier to outplay LeBron when you got unanimous MVP, two-time Steph Curry, and one of the best shooters ever in Klay Thompson. So, hey, KD's a monster, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you can compare it at all. given, like I said, the circumstances. And so, like we said, it's hard to see what kind of environment. I mean, if KD had his own team, it would be great. We would be able to see it even next year. I don't know if he's going to work with Kyrie Irving, given those personalities and all. But like I agree with 4 for 4. I think KD's the most prolific scorer we've ever seen in the game of basketball.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, he only won the scoring title when he won MVP that year, right?
I think he has a couple scoring titles. He won some on OKC. I don't know how many.
He has 4. Yeah,
which is crazy. He shared the ball at Westbrook. That's wild.
About KD, he has 4 scoring titles, Rookie of the Year,
God damn.
2 times Final MVP, and he lost by 0.2 points against Carmelo, and he would have had like 5 in a row.
Damn.
Yeah. Real quick, just a side question, and I don't want to like dive too far into this. Maybe we could do a debate on it. Who started the super team, LeBron or KD?
LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point that I try to make. Sorry, I don't want to talk too much, but like what Kevin Durant did is probably worse than what LeBron did because obviously he lost to the team. But then again, like, I mean, you hear the rumor going around that Draymond was begging for Durant to join the team, but like LeBron really started it if you think about it. And I'm not knocking either guy. Like, follow whatever's best, for your career and everything like that. But it's hard to say.
Hold up. I just wanted to say this, though. LeBron went to Miami because the Celtics had the Celtics were that real first super team in Ray Allen.
There you go. Okay.
Paul Pierce and KG. I don't know if it was one player that put it together. Of course, all players talk. But yeah, come on now. And then don't forget, Rondo was on that team and he was up and coming. He was legit Rondo playoff point guard, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, KG was in his prime still, man. KG.
Oh man, he was in the middle of his point.
Yeah, LeBron started it, in my opinion, though. Like, well, all right, the Celtics can start it, but LeBron or KD, who started it? LeBron. LeBron did it to beat the Celtics. Durant did it to win titles. There was no stopping Kevin Durant when he joined the Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like he joined that team and, it would have been a bad look if, like, Curry outplayed him and won Finals MVP, but Durant was the main show of that team, really, so.
That's the thing. He was still the best player on the team with a 2-time MVP, Klay Thompson and Draymond. He was still the best player on that team. Like, it's not like he was, like, second fiddle to Curry. He was the best. He took the big shots. He got 2 Finals MVPs. Durant still does not have one. Or Curry still doesn't have one.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, I'm not going to take it back and diminish anything you guys said. I agree. When it comes to scoring, I mean, Harden does it really well as well. But Harden's buckets are harder to come by. Like KD doesn't so fluently, so easy. I agree with you guys with that. But again, a talent like KD alongside of them two is going to be easy for him to get that. But and that's the thing. That's what the Golden State was missing that year that they lost LeBron, a guy who can just get the ball and score any type of basket, because Steph and Klay were wanting to shoot threes, and when the 3-ball wasn't clicking, that's how they fell back and let LeBron and them come back.
Question for you guys. Would you rather, let's just rewind a little bit. Let's say we never traded for Tobias or Jimmy, okay? And we can sign one player to a free agent contract. Who would you rather sign alongside Ben and Joel for your future? LeBron James or Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant.
KD.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I like his fit.
Yeah, KD. Because I don't think LeBron and Ben can play together.
They both want the ball in their hands, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit, like, Ben could literally be running the break and just flip it behind his head. Kevin Durant's going to be there. Buckets.
7-foot JJ Redick.
Literally. Better, too, because he can actually make a layup.
Yep.
Lucas said, would you say the Sixers are a super team? And I'm going to take his question one step further. Would you have said that last year's Sixers team is a super team? We're having, you can say an all-star in Ben, an all-star in Embiid, and Jimmy Buckets could be considered an all-star from time to time too. So
I would say they have super team talent, but they are not as flourished yet One, because of the scheme. Two, because of where they're at in their careers. Like, if Ben Simmons was 27, 28 and Joel Embiid was 28, absolutely. Those two with Jimmy Butler at his age, of course, super team. But I would say no.
Yeah, I think last year's team is more super team than this year. I mean, it just hasn't clicked. I mean, as soon as Golden State got Durant, as soon as LeBron went to Miami alongside Bosh and KG and Allen and all them guys went to Boston, what did they do? They won None of them have not won a championship in that super team. They went to multiple. They won. All three of them won. The Sixers have not even made it past the second round. And look at those teams that they won it with. And here's the thing. Look, Doc Rivers, Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr. Is it really the players, or is it really coaching, or is it both? It has to be both. I mean, you can't have a player without with a bad coach, because look at what happened. Look at what's happening. We should have never lost to Toronto last year with that team, and we did.
Yeah, that series should have never went 7 games, and I hate talking about it so much, but it just pains me so much. We were so close.
Appreciate the super chat, Philly Fresh. He says, shout out to y'all. Who's the new guy? He's picking on me because y'all been doing this Sixers thing for a minute now, and but it's all good. Appreciate you stopping by, Philly Fresh. He definitely want to get on too at some time.
Yeah, definitely. But since 4for4 was delightful enough to bring up the playoffs in last year, let's talk about a series this year, guys. Realistically, and everyone in the chat, let us know what is your realistic expectations for the Sixers? How far do you think this team is going to go? Are we a first round exit? Are we a second round exit? Could we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe the finals, depending on the situation? What do you guys think?
I'll start off. Honestly, I feel really good about this team, believe it or not. I think it's just because this pandemic and everything gave the time. Obviously, Ben and Joel needed to get healthy. That was number one. But I think it gave the players some time to really sit back and think. And same with the coach, man. Like, I hate this whole narrative that we're hearing that, this whole situation could save Brett's job, because it really shouldn't, man. His job is absolutely on the line, in my opinion. And if it's not, this franchise will never win anything with that mindset. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this team can go far. They have the potential to go far, especially with the break. Maybe they were doing some stuff over the quarantine to, work on their chemistry a little bit. Maybe they were doing some stuff. I don't know. I'm not with them, but it just goes like we have the talent to go to the NBA Finals. Stephen A. Smith would not have picked us to win the finals if he didn't think so. I mean, that's just who he is. He says it how it is. We have the talent. We have the defense. But I don't think we have the leader. And that's player and coach. That's why I don't think this team will succeed, because of Brett Brown. It's that simple. We don't have a dog, and we don't have Brett Brown. That's me. So, Scabs, maybe I'll let you know.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Eagle Season. He asked, what is Steven? Go ahead and let him know what your YouTube channel is so he can get you, because he's asking for what your channel's called.
Oh, appreciate it. It's just Stephen Conrad Jr. I go by my name here on YouTube. Appreciate you, man.
Spell Conrad for him in case you can't.
Yeah, so it's Conrad, and then Steven spelled with a V, by the way. I saw one of y'all spelled it with a PH or something. And
Got you. And yeah, so shout out to everybody's on here. If you are not subbed to one of the other guys on here, go check them out. I know you probably know all them, and there's a couple people watching on my channel. Like I said, my channel's been preferably Eagles. In the last 3-4 months, I've been killing the Eagles and just too down to talk Sixers necessarily. But once we knew basketball was coming back, it sparked my interest back up. Not sparked my interest, but now I really know that I'm talking about something that's going to matter. But definitely starting to do the Sixer stuff again. I go by the Philly Talk podcast for those who don't know. They got the green screen up. That's why I don't have no background, but you know what it is. Definitely check it out. And for everybody on my channel, go check out Stephen Conrad Jr., 4-4 Philly fan, who will be on the Battle Birds podcast this Saturday. So for those who like Eagles and love these Saturday Battle Bird podcasts, I got to make sure Philly Fresh and Gate City are still down because I forgot that Saturday is the July 4th. But we still going to get you on 4-4, and RB's coming on next too. We just try and get every Eagle content creator, trying to get all the new ones, and RB ain't that new, but got to get them all,
Yep.
So never force subscribe, but all you got to do is watch a video. If you like it, hit that button. If not, go about your day,
Yes, sir. And to add on to that, we are broadcasting to 4 channels right now, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, show us some love on every single channel. Like he said, like it up, sub if you like our content, and we appreciate everyone that is up in here right now. But Mike, I want to get your thoughts because the other two answers. So how far do you think the Sixers can realistically go in these playoffs?
Listen, if we were just getting a standard playoffs, I would think we would be able to beat. I really think we could beat the Sixers and get past them. Beat the Celtics and get past them, and I think we would struggle in the second round. But I really can't really say at this point because I do not know what the bubble, being away from the guys, being away from your regular business, your family, your friends, your situation, what you do before game time, and the fact that there's no crowd. It's never been seen in the history of sports. There's not been one sporting event that has happened without crowd. Not even. I mean, if you're in high school playing ball, you got a crowd there. You got a crowd. You mean if you're playing pickup ball outside, you might have some strangers walk by and say, "Oh, look at this." You always got somebody watching you. So this is going to be a different element. If we are playing normal with Brett Brown, I think we're a second round exit because Brett Brown is just, we all know. The talent's there. We just can't get it done. But with this element, I think you could see a little bit more unknown. It could be like a Sunday in football where a team just out of their element and can't get it done because of the circumstances. And because all the sports that have 7-game series, you really don't get the underdog. I mean, there's been many times that the number 1 seed loses the first game to the 8th seed, and you're like, what? And then they sweep them the rest of the way, 4-1. Because the best team's always going to prevail. You know how many different outcomes would be in basketball if it was a 1-game sample size? There'd be a lot of champions who went on dynasties that wouldn't have had it because they slipped up one time, But this is definitely going to be probably the most interesting. It might be weird. It's going to be weird, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I do think there will be some sleepers, maybe some, 4, 5, 6 seeds that might advance, just given that everyone's probably going to be rusty. And we're only going to get 8 games, really, a small sample size to get back into action. But at the end of the day, like you all said, we have the talent to compete for a championship. I just don't think they're going to be utilized 100% the right way they should. And, the way I'm looking at it is last year, we had one of the best starting 5s in the NBA. And we were a second-round exit in a series that we all agree, we should have handled our business. So at this point, we have regressed from last year. We don't have as much shooting. We don't have, like 4-for-4 said, the leader, the guy that's going to knock down the big-time situation shot. I think we're a second-round exit at the max.
Yeah, and I would co-sign that because of the leadership in Brett Brown. But I do believe this, if anything, again, it helped us out 100%. We would have been a first-round exit if we didn't lose, because of the fact that Ben Simmons wouldn't have been there. Ben Simmons wouldn't have been there. We would have had to play on the road. That equals a disaster. You know what I mean? So Ben Simmons is here. We don't got to play on the road. We also not playing home. So that should give you the element of surprise. But yeah, the Sixers need the 2 things they need in this offseason is just reliable shooting. We don't need Steph Curry shooting. I mean, it would be nice. We just need reliable shooting and a new coach.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, in a playoff series, say it comes down to game 6, game 7, we need one big shot from this team Who are you guys giving the ball to? Because I honestly don't know. I would say Joel Embiid, but you know what they're going to do. They're going to harass the guy. What are we going to inbound it to the paint? Let Joe go in the post? You know he's not getting anything off in there. I don't know who the play's going to. I don't. Tobias Harris?
Yeah, it's the same question I'm asking myself, you know.
We tried it. We tried Tobias earlier against the Heat. It didn't work. He missed. He missed a wide open shot. Like, you cannot be – if you're going to be that guy, you cannot be missing wide open shots. I don't care if you're home, you're away. When that ball goes in your hand, I don't care. The crowd goes silent regardless of where you're at. Like,
well, I think this is a good point we're touching on right now because I think this answers like everybody's questions about Brett Brown because honestly, we had all the talent in the world last year. Those four guys, four arguable all-stars, you could say last year. I know Ben was really young and stuff like that. Jimmy, did what he did. But look, the reason we lost that game 7 is because this team couldn't score the final, 4 minutes. And I'm looking around. There's too much talent to just not on the coach. The coach didn't draw anything up. It was just Jimmy trying to figure out what he needed to do. And I'm sorry, this coach just cannot figure out how to draw up plays for the scorers. You ever notice he has no problem doing it for like role players? Like he can easily draw up a play for like Furkan Korkmaz to get an open look. That's all fine and dandy, but he can't coach talent, and we have talent here, So that just tells me everything I need to know about the coach.
Superhero 18 said when we had the game-winning dunk in the Cavs, he ran a double screen action that got him beat a dunk, and that was the first. But yeah, like RB said, in crunch time, when you got 2-3 guys on Embiid, and that's the one thing that Embiid happens. When they start double and triple teaming Embiid and he puts the ball on the ground, these little guys be taking it from him, you know what I mean? And it'd be frustrating him. And he don't got nobody really to kick it out to. And honestly, when he tries to kick it out to somebody, Ben Simmons is in the paint next to him, Horford's tapping him on the shoulder, and there's nobody out there to kick it to. It's bad.
Yeah. To Superhero's point, the rebuttal point I would say for that is, we're playing the Cavs. And by the way, we lost to the Cavs. I mean, to the Cavs? Colin Sexton and the Cavs? But anyway, really the best crunch time shot I saw this year was against the Portland Trailblazers when Al Horford set the best screen I've seen all year and Furkan hits one from the corner. That's really the best play I've seen drawn up this entire season. But in the playoffs, it's a different beast. You got some of these elite defenders. I mean, they're going to be all over us.
Yeah, like Philly Mike said, when Embiid puts the ball on the ground, when the amount of times I've seen Embiid turn the ball over in the clutch, it's just too much. Like they give it to him too high in the post that he has to take 2 dribbles at least to get it down. And it's too much. Just give it to Ben, you can't even do that because he's throwing the ball in. But just give it to him, beat down low, I guess. I don't even know. If you need a 3, you're basically screwed. That's all I can really say. You got to hope for the and 1.
Real quick, Superhero 18 said my overall point was more the fact that Brett Brown can play design. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't do it enough.
Yep.
Could be the case.
Real quick, shout out to Hawk215, one of my subscribers that came to me for Eagles content. He's actually a Seahawk fan, but he hates the Cowboys so much, so he loves the Eagles talking that crap on the Cowboys. Appreciate him. And now I'm finding out that he's a Celtic fan because, the people who watch my Eagles stuff come out and let me know who their basketball team is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Listen, the Celtics, they got a little spot, but I'm telling you, ain't nobody can stop big man. And so, definitely, I want you guys, to be honest. So you guys, you're nice, but we got the season series. What is it, 3-1?
Yep. The only way the Celtics are going to win is if it's against the Rockets because they don't have a center either.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my guy BPY up in here. Appreciate you stopping by to the stream. I see my guy up in here, Ricky, said you guys aren't worried about the Nets if KD and Kyrie comes back 100%. I guess he's talking about next season because I'm pretty sure both of them are not coming back this season. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if those two can play together. I mean, we saw what happened with KD and Russ, and then we saw, Kyrie. He left Cleveland, which was one of the dumbest moves ever. I mean, you're guaranteed pretty much a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals every year. He wanted his own team. It didn't work. Now he's back. I just don't know if those guys are going to mesh together. But yeah, I'm really not too worried about the Nets, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, real quick. I heard Dinwiddie's not coming now too. So Kyrie's hurt. KD's not there. Dinwiddie's not coming, and there was like two others. One because of Corona and one because of the movement. But the Nets really might go there with like no D.
Yeah,
Jared Allen. Now, if that's true,
I'm assuming he means next year then, because there's no way they'd have to be like the worst team in this postseason if that's the case.
They're literally the Knicks. That they're missing Wilson Chandler, Durant, Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan, Nick Claxton, and now Spencer Dinwiddie. If that's true,
yeah, no, it is.
Is Karis LeVert going to have to drop 128 points every game?
Yeah. Honestly, the East is really a 6-team race. I mean, the Wizards, come on, they're not making anything. The Nets, Orlando. I mean, Orlando's got home court advantage more than anybody else, but I don't see that happening. But yeah.
Yeah.
I do got a question though regarding, since we've been talking about Brett and everything, and this is like really intriguing. I really feel like this could be a deciding factor. What do you guys think Brett Brown is going to do in terms of the rotation? I heard earlier in the season, he said, Brett, I want to get down to a 9-man rotation, 9-man rotation. To me, I feel like the Sixers need to keep at least 10, 11 guys because, what if we go on a 4-minute run and no one can knock down a shot? Who are you bringing in off the bench? Who? I mean, I think we need to have a 10, 11-man rotation, not an 8 or 9-man rotation.
I mean, it worked last year with the 8 and 9 guys because, I mean, Mike Scott was on fire. Ennis was doing very well. But as soon as you put in, Boban or Greg Monroe, they were trash. They did nothing in the playoffs. I mean, you had TJ. So what was the 8 or 9? TJ, Scott, Ennis, Boban, Monroe. And I mean, as soon as a center came in, we were just terrible. Like, that's when the team fell apart, is when you took and beat off the floor. And you can't do that. But I think this year you need to have Horford off the bench because of that very reason. We don't have a backup big other than Horford. So what are you going to do? Put Scott at the 5? This isn't time to play small ball. This is time to go out and try to win a championship. This is Brett Brown's last chance. If he wants to prove something to us, if he wants to prove us wrong, because we clearly all hate Brett, do what's right. Make a 10-man rotation. Make an 11-man rotation. And throw out the guys that you think will be good. Not who you think will be good because of age. Who you think will be good because of skill.
Yeah. So does anybody have any options for next year's coach if Brett Brown really gets fired? Do you have any options now? Or is that a wait and see approach for you guys?
I mean, I have like a dream scenario. I'm sure a lot of people have, but I highly doubt it happens. Like my first thought would be at least to give a call to Villanova's coach. I can't think of his name off the top of my head because I watched him over the years, but I doubt he leaves there. I mean, he's a living legend there. Besides him, I don't know. Like, I almost look at a team like the Raptors who brought in Nick Nurse, who like nobody knew who he was, and like he was able to like just bring a change of like scenery there. I almost wonder if the Sixers should try something like that. I don't know, man. Yeah, Jay Wright. I went blank. I don't know how you forget that name.
Yeah. For me, I'm probably gonna end up making a video on this, but I would love Jay Wright from college. I'm a Villanova fan. He's absolutely incredible. But I'm telling you, my opinion, he's never going to leave Villanova. I don't think he would do it. I think the Sixers need to go for experience. They need to go for guys who have been around the NBA for a lot of years, a guy like a Mark Jackson, a guy like something like that, or one of the Van Gundys, or even a guy like Kenny Atkinson who might be able to fire this team up. I'm telling you, if we bring one of these newbies in from college, I don't know, guys. I just think we'll stay idle. But if we bring in a leader that can get these guys going and is going to know what to do with Joel, with Ben right away, I just think we'll be in a better fashion. But that's just my thought on it.
Yeah.
I second that, RB. These young up-and-coming coaches are cool when you got more veterans on your team. Like, again, even like a Nick Nurse. But you see what the Raptors had. For them to win the championship, they had a guy like Kawhi who won with the Spurs and had veteranness in him. Even Kyle Lowry's been having the best record in the NBA for a minute. For the Sixers, the immaturity that Ben and Joel Embiid show on the court at times, on road games, in clutch situations, you need them Gundys, them Jacksons, them Atkinsons. You need that guy who's been around, who's dealt with, star attitude and stuff like that, because it's a player league. And at the end of the day, if your players don't like you, you're up out of here a lot more easier than if it's like the MLB or NFL. One player can't get mad at you and then your job's on the line. Where in basketball, if your superstar don't like you, you might not have a job next year. So you got to be able to control a lot of personalities. And I do believe that's where we stand with a guy like Ben Simmons, who's under 25, and Joel Embiid, who's still got some growing up to do when it comes to just getting to work.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think you need to hire a player, like a past player. I really do. You look at these guys, these analysts, Shaq, Barkley, Kenny Smith even. Why do they know what to do with Embiid, but Brett Brown doesn't? Is that just like how it is for every NBA player? Like, they clearly have all played. Mark Jackson is a guy that I would seriously consider player coach. He was Golden State's coach before Golden State. And let's be honest here, if Mark Jackson stayed that one more year, I do think they win the finals regardless. I think they end up the same way. Steph Curry was just on another level that year. But I think personally, if you could pry away Patrick Ewing from Georgetown and bring him to Philly, if you bring a guy like Patrick Ewing into Philly, Joel Embiid is going to average like 30 points with like 2 or 3 blocks. He's going to turn Embiid into the best defensive player in the NBA because that's what he was when he was playing. So why wouldn't he be able to turn a guy like Joel Embiid with so much potential, still not unlocked because of Brett Brown? Just get a player coach. That's all I'm really saying. But I would love Patrick Ewing. I would love Mark Jackson. Those two are probably, if you can get them, top 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, as RB said, he's making a video about the new coach. The video I just made yesterday was pretty much about the Sixers, the 8 games, and the fact how the whole unknown of this bubble and all that stuff. But I want to make a game that ties in for Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons being the superstars that got to lead this team in the next 5 to 6 years. And the fact that who's that leader that's going to be able to get them to the top. So it's not really just a Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Do they fit on the court together? All that stuff, because that's been a hot topic too. Like, you got to get rid of one of these guys and build around the other. So the next video is kind of tailoring to them two being able to play together and who's a guy who can get them to that level, because we all know Brett Brown has not succeeded in that department.
Yeah, and I know there's like some good assistants around the league as well, and like you guys said with Nick Nurse and how he kind of climbed up, took over for a coach of the year, and was able to do what he was able to do. Now, a lot of people thought, he's still new in the game, it could be a fluke, but we've seen this year. I mean, he's completely backed it up. Like you said, Kyle Lowry as one of your top options. I mean, Pascal Siakam as your top option, and these guys are playing so much above their talent level. It's just crazy. We need a coach. My only problem is the accountability factor, Like, why is it that we can play up to par against the Clippers, the Celtics, the Bucks, and we can look like a playoff caliber team. But against the Cavs, the Warriors, we can't get motivated for those games. We lose in Atlanta to the Hawks. We lose to G League players. Like, come on now. Come on.
Yeah. Losing on the road is equivalates to immaturity and leadership. And that's where you get your superstars not being taken, not being the coach not demanding accountability from your superstars. It's like, man, I just dropped 30 against the Lakers. If I mess up against the Hawks, it is what it is, you know? So it starts with the two superstars and goes to the coach, because you can't tell me that we beat every single top team, every single team that is running for this playoffs. I mean, running for this championship within the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Heat, the Raptors. We took them out in Philly. We just can't do that on the road. So, you know, Broge is a big thing. Broge is big on just, players got to play, coaches got to coach and stuff like that. But it's been proof. Like, you don't see a 10-24 record on the road compared to a 29-2 record at home and not say there's a big glaring light saying these guys don't take it seriously. And yes, they're grown men to get paid. They got to, but you got to pull one of these things and say, listen, Joel, you're going to sit a game. Okay, we lose a game like that, but in the end, if we don't lose all these crappy games, it might equal itself out. So, RB, shout out to your guy right there. I know he always coming in on yours. So,
yeah, what's going on, Caleb? Appreciate you for being in here, my guy. Always showing some love and some support, man. But yeah, I agree with you, Mike. And I know us and all of us in Broads go back and forth about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can just see it. Like, look at the Toronto Raptors. Like I said, as an example, there's no way that they should be whatever they are, 57, I think, and like 22, 24. I mean, really? Really? And when we play those guys, the way they swarm the Sixers, when we get the ball into the half court, it's ridiculous. There's no way. And that's why, we can even talk about this as a topic. Who is your team that you most are afraid of in the playoffs? Me, it's the Toronto Raptors. And it's crazy because we have so much more talent than the Raptors. But the scheme comes into it. They want to play for Nick Nurse. They want to play for that coach. It would be hard for us to operate against the Raptors.
No, I feel you with that one. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, like you said, their coach or what it is, the matchup and everything like that. Like, believe it or not, I feel more comfortable playing the Bucks. Like, I know they finished number one in the East and everything, but we have the matchup there. You saw what we did to them, on Christmas. Obviously, I think, did we play them 2 or 3 times this season? I forget.
Who, the Raptors?
The Bucks.
I think we played them 3 times.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know, just good matchup there. The Raptors are a completely different team, than the Bucks, which may be a problem for us if we run into them.
Hey, wait, real quick. Harrison, he said, I want to see a Philly Jim and Philly Mike debate. On what? On what? But Caleb said the Raptors defense scares me. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much just to what I just said, like the way they play in that system it's lethal. Like, we really cannot get opened up on anything when we play the Raptors. I mean, for some reason, Marc Gasol is just strapping Joe up. Like,
yeah,
Ben Simmons can't get things going on Lowry or Pascal Siakam. It should not happen. It really shouldn't.
Well, a lot of teams notice, especially in certain stretches, that if they play zone on us, we're just hurt. Mm-hmm. We're just hurt. We don't got the guys camping out at the 3-point line. See, the thing is, if you play zone against teams in the NBA, they're just going to shoot on you all day. But honestly, sometimes they want the Sixers to shoot threes. They don't want Joel Embiid getting the ball in the paint. He got 2 or 3 guys on him. Ben Simmons can't attack the 2-3 zone. Harris is off. Jay Rich is off, But another thing is we haven't been healthy, too. We haven't been able to see Jay Rich all the time and Embiid all the time. So we haven't got our starters in the game a lot. This season, we always had a couple guys here and there out. With Jay Rich, then Embiid, then Ben, too. But, the zones kill us.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is a prime example of that. We were beating them all game. They switched to a zone, and they beat us. They're one of two teams that have beaten us at home. That is one of the reasons why I don't want to play them. They can get hot at any moment. Duncan Robinson literally came out of nowhere. I've never even heard of him in college. He came out. Dude's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Like,
Why am I the scout, yo?
Yo, at first I thought he was gonna play me. I thought he was gonna really play me. I'm like, you got him as coach, assistant, and then I thought he was gonna play me and tell me like, let me be like the floor shiner or something for the Sixers.
The Zamboni driver.
The mascot. It's like
Jimmy Butler.
Raptors believe in each other. The city, the coaches, it's a mentality. The Sixers can have that with the right coach. A Jimmy Butler, not Tobias Harris. Sorry, guys. Who's his basketball team? Because I know he's a Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah. I think he's either a Rockets or Mavericks fan. I think it's Rockets though.
Hey, the Rockets. Hey, I mean, with this crazy scenario, let Harden and Westbrook get. I just don't understand why they got rid of what's his name, Capella. They really don't care about the center position at all.
No, because it doesn't fit in D'Antoni's offense.
Yeah.
That man plays he has no defensive scheme whatsoever. If the Sixers went out and got him, I don't know if I could watch a game. We'd let up 140 points a night.
Yeah.
We would have to get rid of every defensive player on our team. Because that's just not the way that would he be as crazy as to ask to trade Joel Embiid? Do you think if Mike D'Antoni was the head coach, do you just say, nah, we don't need him?
Nah, he wouldn't get rid of Embiid.
I think he would. I mean, you would see like a really good offensive version of Embiid, but you'd see like the worst defensive version because, I mean, honestly, this year Embiid coasted a lot on the defensive end because was he out of shape? Maybe. Was he coasting for the playoffs? Maybe. And I think this man, D'Antoni, would encourage that even more. It would be dreadful to watch.
It would be awful.
Yep. To J. Rick's point here, I think it's a great point, and it's exactly what happened last year with the Toronto Raptors. But now they don't even have Kawhi, and it seems like they can still hold their own with anybody on defense. So I agree. I could see that happening. It's also a weakness of the Sixers, you know. Ben Simmons drives. They're going to collapse on him. They're going to force him to kick it out. But like I think it was Mike saying earlier, who's going to knock it down?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Elton Brand? Where does he stand in your list of frustration?
I mean, definitely not up like top. I think he deserves. I don't think you can say you're out on him until we see what he does this offseason because it'll be really interesting to see if we hold on to Al Horford or not. I mean, obviously, if we go out and win the championship this year, kind of everything seems a little bit better, you know. But I think the coach is definitely the number one thing I got my eye on now. I don't think Elton. I'm not too worried about him because you saw who our last GM was. I forget the Colangelo guy, you know, and
Brian
Colangelo. So you saw, I mean, I guess going from him, I mean, really anybody's an upgrade, but I'm not too worried about Elton Brand, honestly.
All right, let me ask. All right, I'm gonna answer this, but then after you guys are done, let me ask you guys something. I mean, I don't think Elton Brand is a problem, in my opinion. I like what he's done. No other GM, I think, is making that move to trade. To give up on fan favorites like Robert Covington, Dario Saric, even giving up a couple picks and, you know, Banks. But, you know, I just don't think he's taking the shots that I think he will take shots that other GMs won't take. And I like that from a guy that, again, was a current player with the Sixers. He knows what it takes to win championships, even though he's never done it. He's been around guys that have won. You know, I like Elton Brand. I don't have a problem with him. We need a new coach. That's my main thing.
Yeah. Just to echo off that, I mean, look at what Elton Brand has done in his first 2 years. He acquired Jimmy Butler. He acquired Tobias Harris. I understand he overpaid for Al Horford, but at the same time, I mean, I can't say it was a terrible signing at the time. Given, we thought these guys were going to play bully ball. That's what we were promised. Even this season, he goes out and acquires Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson III, guys who are shooting upwards of 40% from three, what we exactly needed. And they're not utilized right. So I'm fine with the aggressive approach. Like you said, I understand it looks bad now, the whole Al Horford thing and overpaying for Tobias, but I'm not going to go on that limb to say that Elton needs to go. I think he's okay right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would echo too that he's done a fair share of bringing in guys. Tobias, who if still used right, could be better. Jimmy Buckets, if we could have kept him long term. I mean, he kept JJ and them on the roster for a little bit before things kind of got out of hand. And Al Horford was a signing that a lot of people liked because they thought we were going to play this bully ball. And with that being said, let's get to Brad Burner, who said, I might sound crazy, but I think we should hire Thibs. He would hold guys accountable, and he would turn us into a really good defensive team, and he could bring out that bully ball in our team. Something that we really thought we were going to be able to play. Coming into the season, we said we're going to have a really good defense. You got Ben locking people up on the perimeter, and at times Jay Richardson doing the same, or Matisse Thybulle, and you got guys like Horford and MB shutting it down. Now, did Horford take a step back, or is it just not working out? But whatever bully ball we thought we were going to do, it's not working. And so now we got the guys to play bully ball, and we're not playing it. So that's what really hurts.
Look, man, I'm never going to be mad at Brett for starting Al this season in the starting lineup. You paid him $100 million. But why does it take 55 games? I mean, I am a Sixers fan. I'm sitting yelling at my TV game 7 of the season. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter how much you paid the guy. You can't let it go on for 55 games. I know you guys remember the first night that he came off the bench. Brett actually referenced it as our best performance this season against the Clippers. Strapped up Paul George. Kawhi didn't. I mean, Kawhi's going to put up 20, 30 points, but it really wasn't a flashy night for Kawhi. It worked. Why did it take so long? I mean, come on.
Because he doesn't know what he's doing. He just does one thing, and then the very next night he goes right back to it. But what Brian Burner said, I would take Tom Thibodeau if he gets his minutes situation taken care of. I'm not having Embiid play 42 minutes a night. First of all, he's not built like that. Clearly, we've seen it. He was out 2 years. Why am I – no. You ruined the MVP Rose. I'm not having you ruin our starting center. Ben is capable of playing those minutes because he does that now. But you can't have Joel playing those minutes. The only way I sign Tibbs is if you go up to him and say, you need to play these guys this amount of – or you need to put a minute restriction on a guy like Joel Embiid, on a guy like Al Horford if he's still on the team. Guys that have either a lot of mileage on their careers or they just – because we all know Joel Embiid just can't play those minutes. But, all right, so I have a question to ask you guys. If the Sixers win the championship this year, would you still consider firing Brett Brown?
Oh, that's a tough one, Damn.
I'm going to wait for Philly Mike to back up in here, and then I'm going to answer.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear you guys. I was running because I knew that question was coming. Did you
hear the question, Fully?
Yeah.
All right, who wants to get a first crack at it?
If you want, I'll go. Hey, look. I would have to see the context. If we beat a Celtics team with their stars, a Bucks team with their stars, a Celtics team with their stars, Raptors teams with their stars, meaning no COVID-19 epidemic, then we beat the Bucks and we beat the Lakers or Clippers, and something snapped into Brett Brown. We got it done. If he continues it, there's nothing stopping us. But that's how it would be. Now, if we get past each team because of some COVID-19 helped us out, took out Giannis, took out Pascal, took out Tatum, then nah. But I mean, listen, we all see how bad Brett Brown's been. But to fathom winning a championship, beating all these teams with their superstars, well, that ride will be worth keeping him for. But again, it would probably take the Eastern Conference Finals for me to even consider it.
I mean, I think he would come back just because it's only fair at that point. I mean, like Philly Mike was just saying, something had to have clicked in his head. And I mean, when you win the championship, you deserve to, defend the crown, like, how they do in boxing, wrestling, defend your title, whatever. But I think then it would just be a matter of like what players they're keeping. But if we win the title this year, I think Brett would definitely be back, as much as it pains me to say it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Brett will be back if this team were to win a championship, but at the same time, I would not be happy. I would not. If it was up to me, I mean, I might sound crazy. I would not bring him back, just because looking at the long-term development of Ben Simmons, of Joel Embiid. I mean, we know the same crap is going to happen next year, and we're going to be in the same predicament. I mean, given the situation right now, these circumstances, like you said, I would have to see the context. I mean, if we're beating a G leaguer who's a second option on a team, I mean, it's nothing special, but I just see Ben Simmons and what he can do if he starts shooting the ball. I see what Joel Embiid can do at his peak. These two guys together can be a dynasty, not just a 1 year type thing. They can win year after year after year. We need the guy who's going to get them to that next level, man.
Yeah. As crazy it is to say it, I would literally still consider firing him. This man's trash at what he does. Like, let's be honest here. Out of the 6 best teams in the East, us, Indiana, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, and Toronto, one of those things is not like the other. And that one thing is Brett Brown. Why is it that the Pacers, without their all-star player in Victor Oladipo all season long, why are they better than us right now? I mean, at that point, you got to just say, all right, maybe it really is coaching. Maybe we really just need a new change in scenery, because they didn't have a dog out there. Who's their dog? TJ Warren? You kidding me? No. Domantas Sabonis, I've never even heard him speak a word. Malcolm Brogdon, he's just a playmaker. He's a very smart player, but he's not that X factor. That's where the coach comes in. Nate McMillan has done a fantastic job with that team to bring them to what I thought were going to be 7, 6, 8 seed, just like the Raptors. I thought the Raptors were done. Thought they were the 7th seed. They would get in just because, Kyle Lowry, Siakam. Nope. They're the 2nd seed. Pacers are 5th seed. Stevens and the Celtics are 3rd. Budenholzer would have been his second 60-win team under his career. And Eric Spoelstra has how many rings? 2? One of these things is not like the other, and that is Brett Brown. And that is what I needed to get out. Like, it's just ridiculous that the Indiana Pacers, without their all-star, are better than us.
Yeah. Hey, let me say this, though. In the sense of that question is like non-fiction. It's fiction for the simple fact that the same reason both Philly, 4-4 Philly fan and RB said that even if they won the championship and you got to go to the parade and you were feeling it and we won great games, you would still fire them. That's because you're hearing the question, but your brain's not letting you fathom us winning the championship, because you know dang well we can't with Brett Brown. So the question is the reason your answer is because no one in their right mind will fire a championship coach. But guess what? To be a championship coach, you're not going to go through the ups and downs that we went this season. So it just doesn't happen. You think about the teams that are going to win it, they've been solid all season. With that being said, so the question being already so outrageous, it's hard because as much as you guys say, yeah, we won a championship, you know what it would feel like? But in the end of the day, you still remember, like, again, it's a question. We're not going to win it. And so I can't speak the word saying bring Brett Brown back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And kind of to echo all 4 for 4. I mean, remember when we were laughing when Jimmy Butler went to Miami? They're going to be an 8 seed. They might sneak into the playoffs. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard left Toronto. That franchise got him for 1 year. You know, they got their championship and now they're done. I mean, I'm sitting back laughing at this. Toronto is the number 2 seed. Miami is number 4. We were laughing at these teams. We literally clowned the Miami Heat, saying they will be a 7 or 8 seed at best. And look how they're playing. I agree.
Ugh, that sucks.
Hey, Victory said thoughts on Lionel Hollins as the next coach.
Oh, no. Let's stop.
Not a chance.
Please. Oh, no. Are we talking about the same Lionel Hollins here?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, no.
Yo, does this team, it's not just me, right? Like, they seriously do give you guys headaches, right? Like,
Every night.
It really does have, like, I find myself yelling the same stuff at the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, call a timeout. Brett, what are you doing? Brett. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I should just get a button made that says Brett every time I push. It's ridiculous at this point. This man just does nothing right.
Hey, if you do this every time you say Brett, we won't be saying it no more, my God.
Hey,
I'd
man.
be passed out before the third quarter starts. I'd be passed out at halftime.
Shit.
I mean, there's no reason that I should be on a game reaction ranting for 18 minutes. And 14 of the minutes are about Brett Brown. I mean, that's how these guys even discover me. I mean, come on. Come on, Brett. I mean, these guys don't trust in Brett. They trust more in the assistant coach, and I have his name up here, Joseph Blair. They go to talk to him during timeouts. They don't talk to Brett. Come on.
So bad. Oh, he's so bad. It pains me because we have the talent.
You guys know anything about I think did you say I thought the assistant coach was that Udoka guy or whatever his name is? Because I heard the Knicks were a team that'd be interested in signing him. I thought he was a Sixers assistant or something like that.
Yeah, he is some type of assistant. I'm not sure. I just know, if you guys know who I'm talking about, Joseph Blair. I think he's a light-skinned guy, always sitting next to Brett, telling him what to do.
Oh, yeah.
He won the championship of the G League before he came to the Sixers. He's kind of a buff guy. I see these guys talking to him during timeouts. But I did see that Knicks were looking at that guy, but the Knicks are irrelevant.
They're so bad, dude.
I'm talking myself into Mark Jackson. I see a lot of people commenting, and it makes sense if you really think about it. I like that.
Yeah, Joseph Blair for head coach. Hey, it'd be better than what we have right now. And, I mean, the next Nick Nurse, I don't know about that, but, I mean, he knows the system. But, yeah, I like Mark Jackson, too. I don't think he got a fair share of the bargain there in Golden State.
Yeah.
And he's been blackballed for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I said it the other week. Look at what the Flyers have done with Alain Vigneault. That team sucked. I didn't watch hockey for 3 years that Dave Hackstall was our head coach. 1 year of a coaching change, and I understand you get Kevin Hayes, you bring Carter up, you just do different things. But look at the change in scenery with Dave Hackstall, where you couldn't sell a Flyers ticket to the Flyers fans, and and the Flyers fans are very faithful. They didn't even sell out Flyers games. You bring one guy who's been to 2 cups with 2 different teams, and it's just a change of scenery. You bring in a new all-star, Konechny, Hayes, Giroux is playing the best he's played in a little while. Carter Hart is an absolute stud. What is it going to click in the Sixers' heads to say, yo, maybe we just need a change of scenery? Because Alain Vigneault, I've been to some of the practices in Voorhees. This man yells, he curses at them. Like, He holds the guys accountable. Every time there's a missed shot or a turnover, the guys do a lap around the ice. I can't even make that up. You think Brett Brown, every time Joel Embiid turns the ball over in practice, stops practice and says, yo, go do me a suicide? Hell no. Hell no. He probably goes, all right, Joel, you got it next time, dude. You got it next time, buddy. You want to Chick-fil-A after practice? You got it. Chick-fil-A on me. He just doesn't hold the guys accountable. He's their friend more than their coach. It's ridiculous. It's like a father-son relationship.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's almost like he's scared.
He's scared. Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with the father-son relationship. I agree with the scaredness. It's just that, look, I understand that the NBA superstars have more power than a lot of other things, but still, the best coach still put their foot down and deal with the results. The Greg Pops, Steve Kerr showing it over there, even though that team was just good. Look at Brad Stevens, get rid of Kyrie. Kyrie's a great player, but you get rid of players that are messing up your team chemistry and your ball. Nick Nurse, surviving without Kawhi, all that stuff. Brad Bird said, if Scott Brooks gets fired by Washington, would you consider him?
I would say no.
I don't like his resume. Where's the championships?
Yeah, he's only gotten the one.
Yeah.
I consider Tim Duncan. He's a player.
Well, no. He was saying, he said earlier, do you think Tim Duncan continues to coach the Spurs when Greg Pop leaves? So I think he's just elaborating on that.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. That I'm telling you guys, listen to this dream scenario and let me know. All right. I want on a scale from 1 to 10 from each of you guys, 1 being impossible and 10 being very, very possible. Listen to this because that's a good point about Tim Duncan. He's been on the sideline. Greg Pop went out. I think it was for some health issues. Tim Duncan knows the game, right? He's going to be a head coach one day. Tim Duncan takes over for the Spurs. Pop made the playoffs for, I don't even know how many years straight, like 18. But now, they're going to be entering kind of a rebuild. They don't have those stars anymore. Listen to this dream scenario. The Spurs, say they think it's time to part with Greg Pop, shift it over to Tim Duncan. Greg Popovich, dream scenario, comes to the Sixers. That is my dream scenario.
If you get Pop, I will say this. You do not trade Horford. If you get Pop, you don't trade Horford. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and beat Al Horford. You don't touch that duo anymore.
Interesting. Shout out to Black Goliath, one of my Eagles guys. If you're still in here, my guy, let me know. Are you a Sixers fan or do you rock with another NBA team? He says, salute to everyone on the panel. And for all my Eagle guys who are still up in here, these guys do Sixers content a lot more than I do. They also rock with the Eagles, so go check them out. That's where, I've made my YouTube peoples. Like I said, in the beginning of the Sixers season, I own a business. So in the beginning of the Sixers season, I was busy after game recaps. I couldn't do them because they're every day and at night. I was handling my business. And then so I would get on there once in a while. And then when I started getting heavy into it, the season cut out on me. And so I was done with it. So we definitely going to be doing more Sixer stuff on my channel. I grew big with the Eagles. But, yeah, like I said, I don't got the backgrounds like these guys right now. I used to be I was more of on a Philly take with RB style. I had the Sixers and Eagles posters. You know what I mean? But the green screen came, and I thought I could get it working. But, Steven got the whole masterpiece back there. See?
Yeah, this took a long time, man.
And I love 4-4 Philly fans wheel. But see, I'm even RB got 3 posters. I got 2 posters. Actually, I got an Eagles poster, a Sixers poster, a picture of Embiid, and a picture of Ertz. That's what I rock with. But now that I got the green screen, and normally lets me use the green screen for lives too, but not today because I was late and RB was about to kill me. So, I'm just kidding. He said definitely a Sixers fan. That's what's up. Yeah, I was surprised to see how many of my Eagles subscribers are just not Sixers fan. They like others. So it's cool. At the end of the day, if you support the Eagles, I rock with you. But like, it just shows because you got Eagle fans all over the world. But there's people who like the Sixers who probably don't rock with the Eagles as well. So it's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. Sixers are taken very seriously in this city, and I just think it's getting more and more as the years go on. Obviously, I don't think they'll overtake the Eagles, but people love the Sixers in Philly. They love the Sixers, me being one of them. So,
yeah, man. I mean, look, I got all 4 teams tatted on me: Phillies, Flyers, Eagles, Sixers. The Sixers have always been my number 1 team in the city. Don't get me wrong, I love talking about the Eagles. I'd post more Eagles stuff than anything just because that's how it's gone since quarantine. All my videos since quarantine have basically been about the Eagles. But now that Sixers basketball is coming back, dude, I'm telling you, like, these game reactions are going to be solely from the heart. They're going to be solely from the passion of my fandom about this team. It's going, like, I will freak out on Brett Brown just because we could win a game. I might still freak out on him. It's just, that's how this team makes me feel. It's like one day they can be like a God gift. When they beat the Clippers and the Lakers, it was like, oh my God, like, wow, we can win. And then you look at the Warriors and they beat us on live TV in front of the nation. Like, that's embarrassing. It's so bad. How do you do that?
All right, let's get to some of these comments. So Brad Burner said my top candidate is Tibbs, Mark Jackson, Jason Kidd, Adrian Griffin, Raptors assistant, and Scott Brooks and Becky Hampton. So
Not a
Black
bad
Goliath said that he is a Sixers fan. Barn Five with a good question. I don't know, I'm just kidding. He said, "What do you think we would have to give up to get that one boy, Zach LaVine?"
Oh hell yeah! Now we're talking.
yeah, man, let's get everyone in the chat, man. I don't know, I can't see how many people are exactly up in here, but hey, let's fire off some questions, yo. Fire off whatever you guys want to hear. It's a good question. But do you guys want to go first on that? What do you think it would take to get Zach LaVine?
Yeah, I can start off real quick. So I just think if you're making a trade for anybody this offseason, I think Horford's going to be the centerpiece of it, believe it or not, just because his contract is so big. There's 2 guys I want more than anybody. My first choice is Zach LaVine. I think he's the most talented player we could get, or maybe like a Bradley Beal, but he'd be too hard to get. Or Buddy Hield on the Kings. I would love him too. But I think LaVine would cost you a lot. I see some people saying it would cost you Tobias even, but I wouldn't give up Tobias. It would be like my package would be like Horford, maybe Richardson. You'd have to throw in somebody like that, and draft cap, like picks, first-round picks. I don't know how many, but, for the Bulls to even consider it, that would be your starting point.
Yeah. Look, Zach LaVine's my number 1 guy. Like, if Zach LaVine is on this team, I think you win.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep Tobias and you add Zach LaVine, now you have guys that can switch every single game. Tobias, if you want to go take over, It's your night. Zach LaVine, go. Embiid and Ben are going to get theirs. But now you add 2 guys that can facilitate the fast break, not as well as Ben, but better than Richardson and Horford. You keep the core 4, or you keep the core 3, you add the 4th. If Zach LaVine is not your 3rd option, he is by far the best 4th option in the NBA. Not even close. Zach LaVine can do it all. He can dribble, he can shoot. And I'm not saying, go shoot me 1,000 threes. I don't need that from Zach LaVine. That's not who he is. He can create his own shot. If you get Zach LaVine, the spacing becomes crazy. You get the pick and roll game with Embiid. You can get a pick and roll game with even Ben. Imagine a lob Ben to Levine and Levine to Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane. Zach, look, but what I think it would have to take to give up for him, Richardson, Horford, probably 2 first-rounders, just because they're the Bulls and that's what they're going to want. And, obviously you would have to give me something back, but, that, like, maybe like a Ryan Arcidiacono, bring him in. I wouldn't
Just
care.
a filler at that point, right?
Yeah, just to, like, maybe he can make some noise. Like, he's better than a whole Neto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jalen said, honestly, the Sixers lost all hope when they let Jimmy go. Butler is tall closer in the team, and this team isn't designed to blow out teams. Carapool said, how awesome was Space Jam? Black Goliath said, how would you feel if the Sixers picked up Michael Beasley as they've stretched for Amon Shumpert for defense? He's talking about like right here and right now, I guess.
I mean, me personally, I don't want parts of either one. Beasley, I mean, he had upside, had potential, but he just really hasn't figured it out. He's bounced around a lot. I mean, it wouldn't be bad as a depth piece. I just don't even see the Sixers going out to sign anyone. I don't think anyone's really worthy of being what the Sixers need, which is a knockdown shooter. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, I think the Sixers got what they were looking for, I guess, in Ryan Broekhoff. No, again, I've never even heard of him. He is that spot-up shooter that I guess that they're looking to get. They got him. They might incorporate him. They might not. Probably will. Probably over the minutes that he deserves. But, we got to see. But Michael Beasley, he's a street baller. He'll be good on Rucker Park videos and Ball His Life and like AAU and stuff like that. But his days in the NBA are probably done.
Yeah, I mean, if they signed Ryan Broekhoff like before those decisions were made, I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. You know what I mean? So.
And then you got some people saying I would go get Devin Booker. He said possibly or CJ McCollum. Brookie said he said Buddy Hield or Danny Green. I mean, what? Yeah.
Damn.
Who would you take out of them two? I'm taking Hield.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Danny Green's too good for me.
Going back to the one that you just said too, and I made like a top trade target. I'm telling you, CJ McCollum could easily be available. The Trailblazers, we saw how they were playing below par this season for years and years now. I mean, obviously they're not trading Damian Lillard, but I think the Trailblazers need that other star piece more so of a forward. So I could definitely see them trying to move CJ, maybe get a couple first rounders, try to acquire that in the draft. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out with them,
Yeah. I don't either.
She said, y'all still going at it? I'm adopting you boys.
Shout out to Philly girl in the chat. Show us some love.
Honestly, if the Dolphins go 9-7, that's a good season for them. It came out of nowhere, but yeah, why not?
Would you look into trading for JJ? Like, would you pick up that contract if you can? Just because you need a shooter?
I think it would depend what else happens. Because given the contract situation now, I mean, now it's more of a strain on your cap because you got a big contract in Horford and Tobias. But say if you were to move Horford, maybe move Tobias. I mean, who knows? But I wouldn't be opposed to it. We need a knockdown shooter. We know that. I mean, whether it's Buddy, whether it's JJ, we need a knockdown shooter.
Yeah, I feel like this team's starting to kind of look like the Thunder did back in 2013. What was the one piece the Thunder was missing? That was a shooting guard. They always had a mediocre shooting guard. Deion Waiters was there for a little bit. Thabo Cephalosha was there for a little bit. They never had that guy that can go out there and get them a bucket.
Yeah.
Outside of Durant and Westbrook. They had Ibaka, but Ibaka was a streaky shooter. And, you look at our three guys, Embiid, Ben, and Tobias. I think Tobias is better than Ibaka, but Westbrook and Durant then might be better than Simmons and Embiid now. Like, I know they play different positions, but, the Thunder team is giving vibes off to this team now. Like, do we have enough?
It's really crazy when we talk about like all this stuff, especially the fact that we haven't had basketball for 3 months. Now we're about to get it back in a scenario that we don't know how it's going to look, how teams are going to respond. The fact that it could be helpful for the Sixers, or it could really hurt them in the long run. I don't know, but so I know a lot of you guys were saying second round exits. The Sixers will likely need to involve a third team in some of those trades to get better assets for them. And you see a lot of third teams trades in NBA.
Yeah.
Right. I got you. Listen to this. Sixers, Cavs, Bulls. Those are your three trade partners. All right? So you get rid of Horford. You get rid of Richardson. You got to throw in somebody else. So I'm going to throw in Shake just because he has some value to him. And I'm also throwing 2 picks, a first and a second. You go to Cleveland. You give them Richardson and Shake. They're the younger 2. You get back Kevin Love. So that's your 4. Now you go to Chicago, give them 2 picks, give them Horford, you get back Levine. Now you have Levine, Kevin Love. Your starting 5 is Ben, Levine, Tobias, Love, and Embiid. I don't know if it's possible, but that's just like brainstorming. That's just like something that came to mind. Would you take Kevin Love and Zach LaVine in a 3-team trade and give up those picks and assets?
Sounds a lot better than what we have now. I don't love Kevin Love, you know what I mean? But I would like his fit more than Horford because, he can at least shoot the damn ball, But, I don't know, like you said you were brainstorming. I don't know, like, if that works out contract-wise and stuff because, like, I play 2K and stuff, like my league, and, like, I've tried to do 3-team trades, and it's so damn hard because the salary's always got to be matched up and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like throwing something out there to keep the conversation going.
No, it's cool. Yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask the chat this, though. Going into next season, if you can get, who would you want to sign? Now we're not talking about the top guy. We're not talking about no Giannis or something like that, trading for one of these guys. This a more realistic signing. Who is the one guy you think the Sixers should target who would fit really good with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and even a guy like Tobias Harris because of his contract? Who would you guys target? One of them Devin Bookers, CJ McCollins, the Levines, the Buddy Hills, even like more of a role player type, but a guy who can shoot the ball, who can space the floor. Who would you try to bring in?
I think it's Buddy Hield easily because I'll like die on this like hill of saying it's Buddy Hield. I've mentioned this before in the past. I think he's basically like, if you really look at him, he's a younger, better version of JJ Redick. And that's been, if you look at this team, really the missing point. Like Ryan always says, who do you trust taking the final shot on the Sixers team? If you have Buddy Hield, it's him. He can, you can get him open like you did for JJ Redick, or really you can give him the ball. The guy can create his own shot too, I think it's him, and I think he could be acquirable because the Kings, I don't know, man, that franchise makes a lot of dumb moves, so I just think it's doable.
Yeah. I would say Hield. Obviously Levine, if he was able, if we had enough to get him. A guy like CJ McCollum, like I said, who could be potentially moved. But in terms of some of the guys like to sign for role players, like I've said in my video, this is not going to be a star free agency. It's going to be more about role players. 2 guys that really strike me as candidates that we could realistically sign who would help this team Number 1 is Joe Harris, shooting guard, Brooklyn Nets. Would not take a lot to get him. He is a knockdown shooter. The guy last year shot 47% from 3, which is ridiculous.
Damn.
More realistically, he's a 41% shooter from 3. He can play how J.J. Redick played with this team. He can fit right in. We take him away from the Nets, and he's a better defender than J.J. Redick is. He's not anything all-world, but a guy I would like. Now, one other guy who could potentially be cut by the Chicago Bulls, who we should look into, I'm telling you guys, Otto Porter. Otto Porter, nice 3-and-D wing, can put the ball on the floor, has been plagued by injuries. You might have to overpay a little bit for him, but I think he could fit right in with Ben and Joe, not having to be that top option, and he could do it on both sides of the floor.
Yeah.
With Joe Harris.
Yeah, Joe Harris, you hit the money on Joe Harris. That was a guy that I was gonna say. He's the guy you can bring in. The cap, he's not gonna kill you dollar-wise. The dude will be exactly what you need. A guy who can play a little bit more defense than a guy like J.J. Redick, who's a great 3-ball shooter. It's going to help the spacing out a lot. A guy who really is clutch when it comes to threes. Guys like Booker's and these guys would be lovely to bring in too. Just a lot more for them. We started getting some other people saying some good stuff. He said, Brad Burner said, Al J. Rich, a second and a first for Buddy Hield and Corey Joseph. Also, I think the Sixers would have to pay like 30 to 40 mil of the money on Horford's contract, so they would take it. Damn. Drummer Boy said, this is another guy who's on that Joe Harris thing, Bertans, a guy who can shoot the ball really good. He's not going to ask for a high contract. I like what RB said in a couple of his videos and earlier just a little bit ago. This is going to be a free agency where there's not too many quality guys, and you're going to have to pay a little bit more for these role players. You're going to have to overpay maybe for a Harris or a Porter or even a Berton, but still not going to be much compared to what they can give you in spacing for this team. But all Drummer Boy's things are good. He said Bertans, Hield, Levine, or Booker.
I'm going to go Levine out of those 4, honestly, because I think Devin Booker, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another good one there. Marcus Morris. Yep.
Right.
The
better of the brother.
Hometown, baby. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He kills us,
Victory.
too. He kills us.
Victory said DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
I would take DeRozan.
I put him in my video, too. I don't think he'll end up opting out of his deal with the Spurs. I think if he came to the Sixers, though, he would have to come off the bench, honestly. And I just don't see that happening because I don't see him coming off the bench. But we know DeMar struggles, right? I mean, he can't shoot from long range as well as we need him to. That's really what we need. We need a number 3 option who's kind of a 3-and-D guy who can knock it down from long range. Yeah.
Do you think you can go?
I was going to read a comment real quick. He said trade for Lauri Markkanen. Maybe said he's very unhappy with the Bulls and might not want to play there.
I mean, I feel like anybody with the Bulls until Anthony signs is going to be a little bit hard to pry away. Just because if AD goes, I mean, they're in the playoffs. Let's be honest here. You add Zach LaVine, Markkanen, and AD on the same team, that's a playoff team. If the Heat can do it, obviously Jim Boylen needs to go. He sucks at what he's worse than Brett. Jim Boylen's the worst coach in the NBA. But if you can get a good coach, like they would probably bring in a guy like they probably could pry away Jason Kidd from the Lakers or one of those guys, like one of those assistants that, AD has played under. And you bring him in, I think that could work. Ty Lue's another guy.
What would you guys think of a Detroit Pistons team who's obviously going to be rebuilding soon? I think they trade Blake this offseason. Maybe Luke Kennard goes as well. What would you think about a salary dump? The Sixers go ahead and acquire D. Rose for $7 million next year.
Hell yeah, I wanted him at the trade deadline. We needed a guy off the bench who can give you buckets. I'd be for it. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when's the last time you can say the Sixers have had a solid six man? Lou Will? We've been bouncing around six mans more than coaches. Like we just haven't had one. I think if you get a solid six man coming off your bench, I think that makes its team that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, random person said he's also a phenomenal shooter. He's talking about Lauri Markkanen, but I agree. You get a guy like Derrick Rose, he's going to get solid minutes off the bench and crucial times when you need a bucket. He's not going to be able to play heavy minutes, but you're talking about a guy who needs to get a bucket for us when Joel Embiid's getting doubled. If we don't believe Tobias is that guy, is D Rose. He's not going to shoot the three like we really want him to, but create his own shot and attack. That's what he can do. When he is on the floor with a guy like Ben Simmons, again, you got a guy who's a scoring point guard who has the ball. You let Ben pick and roll with him. It could be something pretty dang good. I definitely was interested in him at the trade deadline as well.
Yeah. One more guy too. I know we focused on a lot of shooters. Obviously, it's our biggest need, but I'm telling you, if we find a way to move the Al Horford contract, I'm talking about essential that we overpay and get a guy like Montrezl Harrell for the bench. I'm telling you, Montrezl Harrell might be the best free agent signed this offseason, just off what he brings to the table. He won't shoot the ball, but I'm telling you, he's hungry.
Yeah, but then we'll have it will go from the top to bottom. It will be Joel, Horford, Trez.
No, I'm saying if we move Al Horford, if we move his contract, Trez Harrell is going to get a $40 million contract at most, honestly. I mean, he's still a role player. But imagine him coming off the bench. You wouldn't see – you know how we see Al Horford can't even put a hand up when guys go by him? That would not be Montrezl Harrell. That dude is hungry. He averages like 20 points and like 8 rebounds a game off the bench for the Clippers. I mean, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if the Clippers are going to go after him either. I don't think they have the money.
They don't.
So that's what I'm like. If you can move Horford's contract and like I'm saying, like move it for a piece that's actually going to play, like a Buddy Hield, Zach LaVine type of player, and then you add Trez off the bench, like you don't even need a 4. Let's be honest here. We really don't even need a 4. If you get Ben, Buddy, or Zach, Tobias, I'll throw in Mike Scott at the 4. I don't care. Anybody at the 4. And then Embiid, obviously. And then you got Trez off the bench.
I'm just reading this comment up here. I'm sorry. I cannot give up that much. I can't give up that much.
Yeah, I'm not giving up a first for Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
He's barely on the floor.
He's injury prone to the fullest.
Yeah, I don't like his fit.
And again, we just don't. I mean, Blake Griffin shot the best 3 of his career last season, but we don't need more of these somewhat of a stretch 4. We need to get guards. That's what the Sixers are lacking: shooting, ball handling, guards.
Mm-hmm.
We just want 1s and 2s. We don't want no 3s, 4s, or 5s. I mean, again, if we move a contract like Horford, we would definitely be interested in a guy like Trez because he next to Embiid they would want all the smoke down low. You got to talk about energy guy in Trez and Joel Embiid just being a dominant force. But anything the Sixers need to inquire is just 1s and 2s. That's it. That's what we need.
Well, to that point, what do you guys think? I think this is one of the biggest questions of the offseason. It's coming down to roster construction. They need to decide if Ben is going to play the 1 or the 4. Where do you guys see him going forward in the future? Do you think they keep him at the 1, or do they move him to the 4, bring in one of these, shooting guards, and who knows,
I'll go first here. I think if you get a guy like LaVine and you trade Horford, then you play positionless basketball. That's just how you go. You got 3 ball handlers, maybe 4, depending on who you add, and Embiid. Embiid's the down low guy. You have Ben mainly running the point, but mostly running the fast break. But you have Zach LaVine in the half court set and Tobias that can also control things. I think, but personally, I think they're just going to keep him at the 1. Honestly, I can't see them moving him to the 4. Unless, like, it can be a stretch 4, but I don't see it. I just see him being 1.
Was he stretching?
Exactly. There is no stretch. It's just
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody says like, if he's gonna move off the ball or whatever and play the 4, he's got to be able to shoot. Well, here's the thing: he's got to be able to do that at the 1 too. There's an issue either way. I just think like he's too talented at the 1 to be taken off the ball. Like, why do people say like move him to the 4 and you think he's gonna be best utilized? Because honestly, the only thing he could do playing off the ball right now, because he doesn't shoot, is set screens and roll. You know what I mean? That kind of counters what like Embiid does underneath, So I think he's always going to be the true number 1, but I still think we need to bring in a guard who can let off some of the pressure he has, of being the main ball handler on this team.
Let me say this. This is because I'm a firm believer that I like Ben Simmons' game when he's with the 1. In transition, there's nobody better than Ben Simmons because of his passing skills, right? His passing skills and the fact that he attacks the basket like a train. But look, like you said, he needs to be able to shoot at the 1 position. If the guy's at the top of the key and his defender is tight in the paint, well, then he's hurting Embiid at the 1. He's hurting Embiid because his guy's at the free throw line slashing the paint, and he's at the 3-point line. See, this is the thing. Now, with that being said, if he attacks the rim, he's still going to go into the paint and do all that stuff. See, the Sixers offense is like this. When they have to do a half-court set, Ben Simmons sits at the top of the key. The defender creeps off him. He hands the ball like this, either right or left, to Jay Rich or Shake, and then he goes about his stuff. But once he does that and the shot clock's already down, I see Ben Simmons go sit in the corner and just wait. Off ball. See, when you have a guy who's moving the ball from start to finish, even if a guy's going off a pick and roll on the opposite side of Ben Simmons, the back door is available and all this stuff. And if you only have Joel in the paint and not Horford, it's not going to be that clogged. You can have 2 guys in the paint. Ben Simmons is aggressive when he's off the ball in half-court sets. And again, Ben Simmons is aggressive when he just goes to the hole. He's a freight train. He's really good. He doesn't do it much when you have both Horford and Embiid on the court together because the paint's clogged. But you also got to look at the fact that the defender who's in front of him plays him differently because he's 5 feet off, making sure he doesn't get beat to the basket, and he has his help defense. So he's not going to really go from the 3-point line to the basket with the ball in his hands. He has better shot getting to the basket, posting up, off the ball, and stuff like that. But again, the way basketball's going now, it's as fast as possible. There's more transition baskets now than there ever used to be. You know what I mean? Basketball used to be all half-court sets. Now you get half the baskets are in transition. So that's why he's a true point 4. And I'm telling you, again, he's really aggressive when Embiid ain't on the court because then the paint's wide open. But also, I'm telling you, some of his best games have been off the ball. It just a lot of them 30-point performances have been off the ball. Who are the spammers?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, look at this dude. He came in with a Phillies account, got timed out. Came in with an Eagles account, got timed out. And now he's on a Flyers account and got timed out.
So
What's going on?
Yeah,
He's got to come in with the Sixers one to finish it off.
I thought it was the real account for a second too, like real Eagles account or something.
I know he's got a Sixers one. He's got to come in here and finish it off.
How do they have that name? Isn't that like trademarked?
That's weird. He done this to you before?
Nah, I've never seen this guy.
What? Who is this?
Never seen this.
They said, who is this? Random person said Chip Kelly.
I'm dead. But yeah, no, I'm not. Listen, real quick, just to finish up. Ben Simmons is a great passer, and if we had more shooters, I believe, then he'd be able to pass the ball better in a half-court set. Oh, you were right. How do you know?
He came with the Phillies, the Eagles, and then the
Yeah,
Flyers,
on Eagles. Yeah.
and he got timed out, and now he's back to finish it off.
He literally said, "I'm finishing it off."
I knew he was.
Oh.
Imagine having that much time.
I mean, if you're gonna take the time to do all that, subscribe to all 4 of our channels.
Fact with each account too.
Like, I wouldn't care, man.
What did that ride dude mean when he said USA? Do you know?
One of the kids in here is from Canada, so he put USA because it's Canada Day.
Oh, I hear you. Just a little heat stopper for URB, even for a second.
I just checked it out. Hold up. He's back.
Oh my god, he's got a union.
Oh my god. Union.
Oh, he's definitely Canadian. He said A.
What's next?
Damn.
The Soul.
Yo, this is like the Brian Colangelo scandal or whatever on Twitter. Got to investigate this.
Hey,
Bro, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Shout out to my guy Derek Larger up in here from the Colts podcast. He sent me a little link. I clicked on it. It was like a fake SportsCenter account, and they said Carson Wentz is retiring, and like people were commenting under it, and they were like scared. Gave me a little heart attack there, but it's all good.
Could you imagine if Carson just retired in the middle of our stream? I would take all this off and put on an Eagles jersey and start crying.
Some people were saying, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but, like, he may be one of those guys that ends up retiring sooner, kind of like an Andrew Luck. That would suck. That would be heartbreaking, personally.
It would. Hey, so King of LA says, I feel like opponents at playoffs will try to hack Ben. That will hurt us, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten better, though, at free throws. I will say that. He's definitely gotten more confident in that aspect. Because he can shoot. He chooses not to. For that reason, I'll never know.
I'm still battling with the Philly Union.
What's next? What other team you got?
The Soul, man.
If he comes in with the Soul account.
We got the pro gaming teams now, right? What's that called? The esports or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Or he'll start coming in with like player names like Joel Embiid. Put a picture of Embiid up.
I mean, I just think YouTube's a great place. Like, this guy went through the trouble to make 4 different accounts.
5.
4 different emails to come on here to do that. Like, wow.
Yo, RB, he was on your channel? He was on your chat?
Yeah, he's on my chat. I never seen him before. I don't even know who he is. It was probably what's his name? It's probably that dude Jason or Skins Fan for Life.
Skins Fan for Life, bro. I swear to God, I get into it every time he's on the stream. He comes on, talks all smack, says you won't want a backup quarterback. So I told him the last time you guys won a Super Bowl was with a backup quarterback. I don't want to hear that. And he is yet to this day to answer that question or to answer back to that statement.
Yeah. But on that note, Ben's been shooting a little bit better at the free throw line. But like I said, I just can't wait to see how the atmosphere is for us and the rest of the NBA, and it's going to be interesting. And we get some great live game reactions. One of me and RB's first collabs was their live game reaction to the Warriors.
It was our first one. It was our first one. My first live stream, man. I mean,
and actually, that one went pretty good. We got a lot of attraction. It wasn't good attraction, but I mean, it was good. We weren't getting a lot of people talking crap in there, but it was straight. It was crazy, but it was a bad game. Pascal dropped like 25 on us. It was wild. But like I said, I'm definitely going to start putting out more Sixers content, a couple of videos a week. I'm definitely going to do the reactions. Like I said, basketball leaving got me down. I'm going to continue to do the Eagles stuff. So my Eagles guys, don't think I'm going to shy away from the Eagles. But we're going to get a lot more Sixers, utilize this green screen. I'm going to try to do – we can try to do a Eagles stream. Like I said, for Philly fan, we're going to get you on the Battlebirds podcast. But we can do an Eagles stream just us four as well, my count will be hefty with Eagle fans if we were doing an Eagle stream right now. So we would have a multitude of people watching. But I want to get you guys on there. I've done a couple Eagle streams with RB. I haven't done them with Juice too, so I would definitely like to get that done as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I've been saying, telling you guys privately and stuff, like the best is yet to come, man. I'm telling you, like sports come back, everything at once. We're gonna be on here with bringing the energy, bringing the heat every game. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be something we've never seen. Everyone is gonna tend to back to sports because we miss it so dearly. I mean,
that's true.
It's crazy how like we've been able to stay consistent, and with the help of everyone in here, just like these people, like I don't know what I'd be doing if I couldn't talk sports like this. I really don't.
It's crazy to me. Like today was the first day I was like actually upset that there was still no sports, because like in the beginning, like I really just thought it was like gonna be a month. You're gonna hop right back into the season. Maybe it would just start the playoffs. I never would have expected it to be 4 or 5 months. And now that it's July, you had baseball starting back up today. I don't even care that it's soccer. I'm still going to watch it just because it is filled up. The Union play on July 8th. You got the Phillies playing again soon. You got the Sixers and the Flyers playing. And like videos on Instagram, there was a video and the MLB posted it, but it was like a burner account. I don't even know. It was like a sponsored account. And I watched the video, and it was like, we are getting sports back, but, we will always miss these memories. And it was like a bunch of like little kids getting like baseballs from all the players. And I was like, yo, like I'm bagged. Like I just want to be in Wells Fargo Center or Citizens Bank just chilling. And I can't. I got to sit in my house. Just wait another 20 days.
Hey, and we definitely all got to get up for a Sixers and or Eagles game sometime in the year. We all figure out a day where we all can go meet up and do our thing. But Drummer Boy said, I actually think Ben will take Jays without crowds there, just a feeling. We talked about this a little bit earlier. We've been waiting for him to do that, and he hasn't done it. He had all the opportunity to do it, but hey, strange atmosphere, maybe the feeling of getting booed if he airballs or misses a couple in a row. Maybe he just pulls it out. Maybe he's like, what? I don't know. I think you have a better chance of seeing it with these conditions than ever before. So, hey, let's hold our faith out a little bit longer.
Could you imagine he comes out just shooting away?
I would do a first quarter reaction. I would do a first quarter reaction. I'll be on here already.
I'd hop right onto the live. I'd be like, yo, let's get up on this live stream real quick.
Yeah, we might have to live stream the rest of the game and just be in amazement every time Ben shoots the ball. Something we've been waiting for him to do forever.
I mean, look, man, Ben Simmons starts shooting the ball, starts hitting shots in a couple years. He's a top 3 player in the game. Top 5 player, no doubt about it in my mind.
He's that good.
Oh, wait, he's back. He's back with the soul.
Hey, yo, RB, dang well he because he took longer to do it. After he heard you say that, he went and created it.
He really went and got the actual logo as well. The Soul are not even a team anymore. They are a previous team, an arena football team. That's crazy.
King James said Ben Simmons can be better than KD if he had an outside shot.
That's tough.
Hey, put it this way. The shot would have to go in as much as KD's does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have to be part of that 50-40-90 club.
Yeah.
I mean, you give Ben a shot, even if it's not as developed yet. I mean, what can he do, really?
Right.
I mean, defensive player of the year candidate. He's got a position like I've never seen,
Yeah.
He really has the chance to be the best player in the league. Like, Ben's that good. I mean, you don't get not many players get compared to LeBron James or Magic Johnson, and Ben was considered or compared to both. I mean, the sky is the limit for this kid. He's only 23.
23 years old. Let that sink in.
And he's just
there's
starting
been
his 5-year contract.
to trade Ben Simmons.
The contract hasn't even started yet.
Not to mention Brett Brown's still the coach, and we're talking trading one of our two best players. That's wild to me, man.
That's literally the topic of discussion every single day on sports radio. Oh, can Ben and Joel play together? Yeah, they can play together. Can they get a coach that allows them to unlock their full potential? That's what I'm wondering. The question to me is not if Ben and Joel can play. I know they can. They played together. And yes, Ben Simmons has great games without Embiid. What do you want him to do? Sit there? He can't. He has to perform like Ben Simmons, the all-star, every single time he steps on the floor without Embiid. That's why he is a superstar in this league. You think it just comes naturally saying, like, no. Like I said it last stream. Chris Bosh turned up when LeBron was out for that 1 week in Miami. And they beat the Portland Trailblazers with Chris Bosh hitting the game-winning shot. That's what superstars do. When the best player is out, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, star players take over. They fill in the spot. And, Ben Simmons does that. He's beaten the Lakers. He's beaten the Cavaliers with LeBron. He's beaten multiple teams. The Brooklyn Nets game, he's back. The Brooklyn Nets game was his best game of ever. When he had 34 points. He was on fire that game. And that was the Ben Simmons that we drafted, that I know can play like LeBron, just dominant.
Hey yo, Eric B. You be bringing some weirdos, but at the end of the day, he's not saying nothing really bad though. But it's funny he said, "How about we gather all the teams in one?"
Hey man, you got it. Like to cap this off, like you got to reveal your identity. Like you got to let us.
You got
bring the real identity.
Hey yo, Brokey said, "I love and hate this guy."
I feel you.
Yo,
I'm still waiting on that subscribe, my guy, on 6 channels.
6 accounts now.
I went up like 6 subscribers in the last 2 minutes. Like
he got you on all.
He got me on all.
Hey.
Yo, but on that note, I'm thinking we're about to end this in a little bit. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on the Sixers. Like I said, I put out one Sixer video in the last 4 months, and I put it out yesterday. So it was good to get a Sixers video out. Good to be on here with you guys. Definitely want to get you guys on the Eagle stuff because, like I said, I know you guys all do Eagle stuff, and there's a lot of people that we can introduce you to. If we get you on an Eagles live stream, they be going crazy. As RB knows, I can't even keep up with the chat, no matter how much I try when we do an Eagles live stream. So
crazy.
Wow. On that note, you guys want to say anything? Anybody in the comments got anything else to say? Derek's thing real quick that he said I had up there for a while. That's your Colts guy. He said at least Giannis has at least attempted to develop an outside game with little success. Ben hasn't really tried. He could be the most dominant point guard in the league if he had some kind of shot. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. And putting it all together with everything we talked about, guess who they have over there? Mr. Mike Budenholzer, offensive mind himself. I mean, I've talked about it before. There's no reason that Brook Lopez never shot a three-pointer in his life. And he's up there with the best of the centers now shooting threes. It's because Budenholzer got on him, said, hey, you got to knock down some shots. When Giannis is driving to the rack, he's got to look up and dish it out to someone. Why? I mean, the Bucks have 1 through 12, 1 through 13, just guys that are going to knock it down. I mean, simple as that.
Yeah.
He said if he does the Philadelphia Warriors, I'll be impressed.
Don't tempt him.
Don't tempt him.
Oh, man.
I think our road record is a result of Brett Brown's system and scheme being solved and Brett Brown's soft coaching style.
Brett Brown sucks. That's basically all we can really say. He's just not a good coach. He's not the coach for this team. We need a change in scenery. We need somebody that's going to get in the player's face. I don't care if they get into a full-on argument. You think Steve Kerr and Draymond Green don't butt heads? I've literally seen Steve Kerr say, wow, I really can't stand Draymond sometimes. Draymond Green, there is no Golden State without Draymond. There's not. They needed that leader. They got that leader. I would take Draymond Green on this team in a second.
Shit, I've seen Steve Kerr break. He smashes clipboards and everything. Everybody thinks he's a nice guy. You watch him, he gets pissed, man. I got to see that out of my coach.
Yeah, there's no legs and sits there and laughs.
I mean, there's no reason that you're playing with G League players and he's getting them more motivated than our team. It's just no answer for it. There's no answer at all.
Jordan was the best player on the floor that night.
Jordan and Brookie said it, and now we're back to Brett Brown.
Yeah, man. I'm tired of talking about that, man. To cap it off, though, I don't know how many people we got in here. Just like a good final question. If you guys had to make an impulse guess, which team is winning the NBA Finals?
I hate to say
it. I'm gonna go and rock with the Lakers. I'm gonna rock with the Lakers. LeBron James is a different monster in the playoffs, even though Avery Bradley is a loss. He's a 3-and-D guy. And you want that 3-and-D guy when you're playing against Kawhi and them boys, Harden and them boys. You want that perimeter defense, but I'm still going LBJ and the Lakers. Go ahead.
I don't think it's an Eastern Conference team this year. I think obviously the best chance you have is the Bucks, but I'm gonna go with either LA team, whatever. I think just a team out west, but I don't think any of the other teams compete with the two LA teams. So I'm saying Clippers, Lakers, and Sixers just because. But
damn, my man said all the.
Damn. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the LA teams. I can't decide honestly because the Clippers have the best roster on paper in the NBA. Like they should win, but I don't know. It's hard to count out LeBron and the Lakers. It's one of the LA teams. I can't decide personally.
Yeah, I gotta go.
You go and give us a definitive answer.
Hey, I'll give you my sensible answer. The Clippers, and how about this hot take? I'll end it off, man. The Toronto Raptors.
Come on now.
Hey, it's just a hot take. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with the Clippers, but how about a hot take? The Toronto Raptors. I'm telling you, they're gonna eat up every team in the East. All right. Giannis gets the ball. We saw what they did last year, right? The Bucks were up 2-0 in that series. But guess what? There's a certain thing Brett Brown doesn't know about it. It's called an adjustment. They started to eat Giannis alive. And you know what I'm saying? The Bucks, if they're not on shooting, But yeah, I think the Clippers have the most depth in the playoffs. I'm telling you. From 1 to 9, 1 to 10, and then with Doc Rivers, and Kawhi and PG. I mean, we know playoff Kawhi best. Adding PG on top of that. Adding Lou Will off the bench, Trez.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Playoff Paul George kind of is trash. He's choked a lot of games. Playoff PG, he's choked a lot of games. That Utah series, there's no reason to lose that series. And that man, had 3 points one game?
Damn.
At the same time, could you say that PG ever had the best fit in the playoffs with his team?
He was very good in Indiana, I will say that. When he had the ball in his hand, he was very good. In OKC, he did choke. I will say that. But, I mean, you got to look at it this way. Paul George isn't taking the last shot. Kawhi Leonard is taking the last shot.
Exactly my point, though.
Yeah, there it is. Paul George is your second option. That's a damn good team right there. That's the point.
And – in OKC,
AD is your second option is a great. AD is your second option is a great thing right there.
It's gonna be that series is going 7 no matter what.
Look, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but
wait. You know, Lou Will might not play.
Yeah, that's a factor right there.
True.
So I talked about Avery Bradley, which is a 3-and-D guy. Their spark plug off the bench. Lou Will is big.
Yep.
If Lou Will doesn't play, then the Lakers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Lou Will to the Clippers is a bigger loss than Avery Bradley to the Lakers. It's just a better player.
But they did get guys at least like what's his name? From the Pistons, the point guard, Reggie
Jackson, right?
Reggie Jackson and Morris.
Damn,
which are
oh man.
Hey,
They got 10 players that can be starting lineup players.
Yeah.
I got a follow-up question, but first off, I just want to finish off that point. I'm sorry, guys. Nobody is winning a chip with Russell Westbrook on their team. It is not happening. Just given the style that he plays with, that's why I don't think PG had the best fit with OKC. And I just don't see Russ ever winning a chip. The same way I feel about James Harden. I just don't know if he's going to win anything, given the style that he plays.
Yeah.
Too.
But if I was to ask you guys, like not one of the top teams, just like a sleeper team that you think could make like the Eastern Conference Final, like just a team no one would expect.
the Sixers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Sixers, man.
Yeah.
Besides the
Everybody's
Sixers,
counting us out.
besides the Sixers. Anybody?
The
Anyone?
East.
The Pacers have amazed me already this season.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't
I'll
forget
go with them.
who the Pacers?
No.
Oh,
Heat.
Miami. Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys one team and one team only. The Utah Jazz. Don't forget about them. That's all I'm saying.
Corona man ain't.
Oh, I thought you said in the East.
He's
No,
gonna.
I just meant like East or Western Conference Finals. My bad.
Oh, you meant okay. I thought you said the East only.
Yeah, but that's my
Yeah.
fault. Either
Okay.
conference, like just a sleeper team. I'm telling you, I think it could be Utah.
Oh, I'll go.
Look
I'll
at that.
shock you guys. I think Portland, man. Dame Lillard's just been different this year.
Well,
Maybe he catches some fire.
I'm
There
gonna
you
say
go.
this hot take. Pelicans, Lakers, 7 games. It's
Damn.
gonna happen. Lakers are gonna win the series, but it's going to 7 games for no reason. There should be no business in Zion making it 7 games against Bron, but it's gonna happen.
Damn.
all right. I'm going to go with the team that you just crapped on both their stars, my guy. I'm going to go with the Rockets on some small ball. Don't give a crap. James Harden gets hot. You know what I mean? The writing on the wall, the thing about James Harden is that he comes up small in the playoffs. The dude has a 40-point, something crazy. I'm going to go with the Rockets as my sleeper with PJ Tucker playing the 5.
PJ Tucker.
It could happen.
He's 6'5". How is
Covington, man. They play Covington at the 5 now. You see that? Or the 4? I don't know what they do with him.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm telling you, I just don't see James Harden or Russ winning a chip. I just don't see it happening.
Look, I would love for all four current Thunder players to win a championship. You got KD's got 2, Ibaka's got 1, Westbrook and Harden. If they can find a way to win one, that's the team that when, because I don't think this team's winning. When the Sixers lose, if the Rockets are still in, that's who I'm rooting for. I love Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook's like a top 5 player, like not in the league, like top 5 player that I like to watch.
Hey, nobody mentioned the Dallas Mavericks, which is interesting because that boy Luka has been balling out too.
They're missing
No
that.
D.
piece, though. I'll give you that, but they could be a sleeper. But I mean, we're sleeping on them right now. I'm sleeping on them heavy.
I feel you.
But
Nobody mentioned Denver though. Nobody mentioned Denver.
Hey, man. The national media is sleeping on us. We're the sleeper. Come on.
if I'm being honest here, I think Jokic weight loss is actually going to hurt him more than help him.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
That man got skinny. He got crackhead skinny. Like, he doesn't look right. And maybe it's just because he was big. He was a big boy before, but I don't know, man.
He said, I'm going to get the Rockets and make the conference finals. We'll see what Harden can do. Ever since Austin Rivers said Harden lost like 20 pounds.
He cuts off
And
that
Drummer
beard.
Boy said he had that beard's like 10, 15 pounds solid. Yo, one of the funniest memes, though, real quick, Drummer Boy said Rockets definitely not coming out of the West. That's why they're my sleeper, my deep sleeper. But yo, the meme where James Harden has a beard and then he takes it off and it's James Softon is hilarious. Bro, you gotta see that picture. I'm gonna send it to you in the group text, bro. James Softon is hilarious, bro.
Commercials where you got the mustard sprayed all over the beard and he took it right off like a whole outfit.
Hey man, James Harden's best chance at winning a chip, hot take, alert, hot take, was as a 6-man with KD and Russ. That was his best chance.
What could have been, right? If they all stuck together.
How old is Harden? 29, 30?
I think he's like 28, 29, right?
If Houston loses 2 more seasons, you think they blow it up?
And Harden's so marketable. Like, he's everything for them. Like, D'Antoni built the team around him. Like, he's the poster boy, you know?
Yeah. They'll try to blow up the Westbrook side of things again and get Harden more pieces.
Yeah.
I mean,
never win with Harden taking all the shots, though. That man shoots too much.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the way he plays.
Harden ain't it.
It's not going to happen with the way he plays.
Jacker.
My boy Born5 said, don't sleep on John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies.
I saw this comment earlier. It said, how do you guys feel about Zion on the 2K cover? I want your guys' opinions, and then I'll give mine.
Wait, what?
How do you feel about Zion being on the 2K cover?
I mean, biggest college kind of talk since, LeBron James. Why not?
Yeah, it's a marketing technique. I mean, just seeing Zion on the cover, a lot of kids are going to draw in and buy the game. But, yeah.
Yeah, I was going off earlier. I was going off on that. Because, like, to me, I don't like the players that just give things. Like, the NBA gives things to some players, it seems like. Like, Giannis is one of those guys that it just seems like whatever this man does, it's right. And I don't like that because that's not how Philly is. No, Philly gets nothing. Like, we all know that. No Philly athlete will ever be, oh my God, you are the unconsensus number 1 best player in the league, no matter how good he is. I mean, you see it with Carson and Dak all the time. Carson's better than Dak, and yet there's still an argument. Zion, I feel like, for only playing 19 games, is being given the world by the NBA. And I understand. It's a very good marketing technique. They want him to be the next face of the NBA. But I swear, if Zion wins the Rookie of the Year over John Morant,
that's crazy.
Freak out. Because I just would say, why? He played 20 what would it be? 27 regular season games. Ja played all except a couple, but I don't know.
That's a good point about Iverson right there.
Yeah, that is true.
But Iverson created it himself, though. I think that goes to your point. Like, I like Zion. He seems like a likable guy, cool player and everything like that. But, yeah, I don't know. The NBA is going out of their way to market a lot of the younger players. Like, even more now market the younger players, it seems, rather than just let them kind of do the talking for themselves.
Yeah, like
Zion's been talking since high school.
Yeah.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I went to the draft last year. Zion is a real cool dude. I like Zion. There's nothing that I hate about Zion Williamson. But, I just don't like how the NBA is treating him like he's done something in the league already. Like, if we're being honest here, Giannis won an MVP. If you want to give him some leeway, that's fine. He's an MVP. But in the aspect of winning, he hasn't done anything. That's why, like, LeBron, like, even Lillard. What has Lillard won in this league to earn that right of 2K21 cover athlete?
Respect.
Yeah, Lillard's a dog, man. Shoot, I'd take him on the Sixers.
I love Lillard. Lillard's my top 3 favorite player in the league. But, to me, I like winning. I love winners. And if you don't win anything, I feel like the respect goes so far Because with me, you get respect from winning. And Lillard has taken that trash organization because they'll never win. As bad as they'll never win with Lillard. Let's be real here. They're just not talented enough. They'll never be. Hassan Whiteside's the third best player. It's just not good enough. But Lillard has taken that organization and he's built it up to as far as the third seed in the West. He's a great clutch player. I love Lillard. But in the aspect of winning, he has done nothing.
Hey, real quick, let me say, I believe Ja's gonna win it. Ja's a monster. He gonna be one of them dudes in the next couple years. But like, yo, what I respect the guys like Dame Lillard is that they trying to win with who drafted him. Listen, at the end of the day, any champion is a champion. But I got a little bit more respect for a guy who went the route of getting drafted, maybe talking to the GM, saying, I would like this guy, but staying there and winning. You know what I mean? Like, not only because LeBron was down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, but winning with the team that drafted you. I mean, Kobe winning with him, Michael winning with him, Magic, Bird, all these guys in the past who've been doing it. Steph Curry, again, winning before KD got there, winning with KD, even though he wasn't the MVP. All that stuff, I just have a little bit more of a different level of respect. Again, I don't discount no one's other chips. I don't discount Miami's chips or any of them KG with the Celtics and stuff like that. But it's a different type when you get drafted and you know that, you were the piece, people got stuff put around you and all this good stuff, yo. So Dame Lillard's holding out because he could have easily been like, yo, pair me up with some of these guys like LeBron, AD, and all this. But he said, nah, I'm going to rock here. I'll put my young boy CJ and give me whoever you can get. We're going to try. And he got to the Western Conference Finals a couple times.
Yeah, it sucks for Lillard, though. Like, guys like Lillard deserve a ring. Like, guys that stick out their whole careers with one team deserve a ring. And, like, even guys that don't, that are just, like, veteran players. Like, Vince Carter, I get that he didn't want to opt out of his contract, but at that point, you just release him just to release him. And to tell him to go to a championship contender and try to win a ring. I don't understand why he didn't do that. He should have.
I'm under 30, though, so we good. But, yo, real quick, here's a good question to go out because we definitely about to get off. But listen, you guys stay in touch. I want to do an Eagle stream with you. And so my boy, the boy, can watch our Eagle stream. You know what I'm saying? Since he's a diehard Eagle fan and all that good stuff. So, who do you think right now, or actually, who do you think is the best player to not win a championship? It could be now or old-fashioned or old school, I mean.
Iverson
or Barkley.
Yeah.
Of course, 2 Sixers. Gotta love it.
No bias there, right?
No. Iverson, I mean, Melo's up there. Melo will certainly be up there by the time his career's over. Vince Carter, I just think he's just playing.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
But, I don't know.
Is Iverson biased, though? Because the dude carried, my God, he put everything on the line. He was barely 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a legit take. It's a legit take. Go ahead, RB. You've been quiet. Who's your guy?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to think, but I would probably go with Iverson as well. Like,
yeah,
not trying to be biased, but like, I'm just trying to put myself in the perspective for 1 second of not being like a Philly dude. Like, you got to respect the heck out of Allen Iverson. Like,
you do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's old guys. Like, I know Elgin Baylor went 8 times and lost all 8. Like, that must suck. Like, imagine going 8 times and losing 8 times. Like, I mean, but that's Elgin Baylor. We're talking about, like, players that are actually, like, that we know, that we've seen. Karl Malone is, he's a good guy. Same thing with Stockton. They're up there. Barkley's up there. But I just, like, you look at that season, that 2001 season, the Sixers had no meaning. They had no business being in that NBA Finals against the Lakers. Absolutely none. And, up to that point, the Lakers were 12-0 in the playoffs. and the Sixers stole a game from them. And I'm sure if I was alive during that time, and if I was this age in 2001, I'm sure that would have been like the greatest day of my life. Is beating the Lakers in that game, seeing that step over live.
Yeah, yeah. Look, as much as anybody who knows basketball can say, when you first hear Iverson, you might say, "Oh, of course, 4 Philly guys. What are they?" But then you sit back and think about it. Like there could be guys you can argue to it, but there's not one guy 100% just there. I mean, James Harden might be that guy farther. You got Melo, you got Malone, you got guys like Barkley, but he's another Sixers. But I mean, Iverson, like you said, Aaron McKee, Dikembe Mutombo, all these guys. What?
They were trash, man. They were so bad. Like people want to say LeBron took some bums. Iverson literally took like Greg Ward type players on the Eagles to the NBA Finals and stole a game from the would be three-peat champs.
Hey, which team do you guys think was worse though? Out of the two that LeBron carried to the finals, the first one or the second? The second one.
You mean damn?
I'm talking about
early Cavs,
Anderson Varejao, that team.
Yeah,
team with Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. Like,
damn.
Nah, that first team was bad.
Yeah,
I mean they got swept. Like at least they won a game against the Warriors that first year. That first year back, but no, that wasn't even a close game.
Yeah, the first team was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had Delonte West and stuff like that.
Delonte West.
Yo, that's the sad part. That team had a great regular season record too, though.
Crazy.
But
Delonte West is like a crackhead now, isn't he?
Yo, that man is like all that stuff. That man, yo, you seen the last video on TMC or maybe Warstar? This man is just sitting on the curb, just like, my goodness, Delonte was. It's all because you talked about LeBron's mom, my guy. You're like, do that.
I can't believe he did. Like, if that was actually true, I cannot believe he actually slept with LeBron's mom. That's nuts. Who does that to like the stuff? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But with that being said, appreciate you guys. Let me in your group. Trying to get you guys on some Eagles stream soon. I got 444 scheduled for the BBP on Saturday. You guys, we almost went 3 hours though. So for those who know about Battlebird podcast, 3 hours is a short one. So grab your popcorn and get your stuff. But appreciate you guys having me on your channels. We had you on my channel. My channel is pretty much dead right now. With that being said, I'm gonna sign off. I go by the Philly Talk podcast. If you're new, haven't seen me, I got one Sixers video up in the last 3 months. Promise I'll be doing some more. Check it out. Let me know what you think. On that note, what about you guys?
Hey, you guys already know who I am, man. RB, Philly Take with RB. Be sure to check out my stuff as well.
And I go by Stephen Conrad Jr., obviously, for those of you that don't know, my YouTube channel, obviously, Philly sports content, as always. Looking forward to collabing with these guys more. Make sure, if you haven't already, you subscribe them up as well, man. I can't wait till we get sports back. Like, literally, we're going from no sports to, like, a shit ton, man. It's going to be almost too much content to do, but I can't wait.
Yeah, and, I go by 444 Philly fan. Subscribe up to all 4 of our channels. We're on the grind. We're on the rise. Sports are coming back. The channels and the streams are about to be crazy. We try to do, I know me and RB do we try to do this Wednesday stream every week. You know, if we can make this 4 people stream every Wednesday, you know, that would be dope. And you know, yeah, just check out all 4 of our channels. We're on the rise. And you know, thanks for watching, guys. For real.
And with that being said, you know what time it is. And I never get this right because it lags on it.